everybody is trying to get it going, you know?
A lot of things have been coming and going over there,
Good evening, everyone. We're going to go ahead and start the meeting this evening. I'll give everybody one last minute to settle. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Monday, May 20th City Council meeting. Roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
Alderman Guzman,
Present.
Martinez,
Present.
Felix,
Present.
Newsome,
Present.
Turner,
Present.
Donnerworth,
Present.
Florian,
Present.
Hayes,
Present.
Bolton, Mayor Taylor.
Present. Just so the aldermen know this evening, we have Natalie from the clerk's office doing our meeting tonight. So if when you speak into the microphone, if you can say your name so that she can keep track of that and we can help her along with this. Again, I will call you Madam Clerk for this evening if that's okay. At this time, I want to welcome Pastor Roberson from the First Corinthian Mission Baptist Church in North Chicago. This weekend, we had the pleasure of celebrating his 30th anniversary of service, and he's agreed to come and do our invocation this evening, and I just want to say I sincerely thank you for coming this evening. It is such a pleasure to have you here. So if you could lead us in our invocation, I would appreciate that. Thank you.
Let us pray. Eternal Father, we come now to say thank you for this moment that you have allowed us to come together. We thank you for each and every individual that is present. And Lord, that you would just bless the effort that's going to be put forth tonight. We thank you for guidance. We thank you for direction. We thank you, Master, for protection. Pray, Father, for friendship, fellowship, and we thank you for worship. Now, Lord, we ask you to bless the mayor in a special way. You know her condition, circumstances, Father. You put her here. We ask you to now keep her and make her safe, Father. Let her know that you are God, and beside you there is no other. Every man, every woman, every boy, and every girl in this city, that you just be with them. Cover them with your blood. Bless their going out and their coming in. Make them the head and not the tail. Make them above and not beneath. Make them the lender and not the borrower. And we thank you. We give you glory and we give you honor. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen.
Again, I want to welcome you. It's hard to believe, but it's already May 20th. And I want to welcome you to this meeting, but I also want to remind people that our agendas go on online the Friday before our city council meetings. Our agendas are always posted, so please take the opportunity to look at the agenda before the meeting on Monday. Some general comments. I'm particularly excited and proud that we celebrated the Waukegan's new animal control facility. As many of you know, our animal control building was in pretty bad shape, definitely needed to be renovated. It looks outstanding. It is something that was a big priority for this administration so that our dogs and cats and all the other creatures that we take in were actually able to have proper heating, air conditioning, great facilities, and these are just some of the smaller projects we're working on. We will also be working on other larger projects as we move forward. But again, This was such a massive upgrade for our community, and I think it was a really nice facility that came out of it. If you've never met our animal control ladies, they are phenomenal. We will once again have an opening for the public to come. This last opening was for the public, but we did not have the dogs at the facility at that point. When they decide they're ready, they will let us know, and we will do another opening for the public to see the building. The City of Waukegan has been closely following the appropriate federal and state authorities, have reviewed the contractor's recent demolition efforts in handling asbestos at 2615 Washington Street, the former St. Therese campus. The U.S. Department of Labor, OSHA, announced over $400,000 in fines and made a clear statement that the workers and surrounding neighbors deserve safe conditions. We thank our federal government partners for sending a strong message to the demolition company, and we will continue to demand the highest safety standards when the businesses work in Waukegan. Again, many of you know we have a lot of old buildings in Waukegan. We are also working with our building department and corporation council to update the city's permitting process for large demolition projects to go beyond what the state and federal compliance laws are. I know Alderman Guzman has brought this up and is an advocate for this, so we will see that coming to council shortly, but we want to go above and what the state and federal demands are on this. This Thursday, we'll be holding a special Waukegan City Council meeting regarding the Downtown Tax Increment Financing District, formerly, or not formally, but commonly known as the TIF District, and I'm sure many of you have heard that word. This is for a potential downtown redevelopment project. The meeting is from 6 to 8 here at City Hall in the chambers here. The public is always welcome. There will be public comment, but only related to either a TIF or that Pacific project. The Genesee Theater is wrapping up its spring show season with a performance by comedian Pete Davidson on June 15th. We are thrilled to host him in our city, and following this, the theater will continue with its summer film series, but not opening acts or anything like that. We are heading right into the event season in Waukegan. Saturday, June 1st, is the start of Yoga on the Beach, and it continues each Saturday during the summer. Yoga on the Beach starts at 8 a.m. for those early risers at the Waukegan Municipal Beach at 201 Seahorse Drive. This is peak lawn care season here in Waukegan and over the Chicagoland area. Please remember, the city requests that your grass be no longer than 8 inches per the city ordinance. This includes all areas by the fence lines and in the parkways. Eddie Washington is hosting its 2024 graduation ceremony on Saturday, May 25th from 11 to 1 at the Eleanor Murphy Community Center. The theme is "It's Not Over Until I Win," and congratulations to all the individuals graduating this year. YCC graduation is this Thursday, May 23rd at the Eleanor Murphy Center. The Waukegan Fire Department is looking for new hires. Applicants must be at least 20 years old and less than 35 years old at the time of the written exam. For more information, you can contact the fire department. There are also 2 optional, and we want to stress this, that there's 2 optional orientation sessions for interested applicants at the Waukegan Fire Station number 5, located at 3221 North Green Bay Road, on Wednesday, May 22nd, and again on Saturday, June 1st. Applications open to the public on June 3rd. Waukegan has one of the best fire departments in Lake County. Well, I won't say one of the best. I will tell you personally, I feel the best. And I want to thank Chief Pazer and Deputy Chief Stickles and Fire Marshal Zupek for their outstanding leadership. I think we actually have the video that we can show you, their recruitment video. Chief Bridges, do we have that? Yes. Okay, good.
Waukegan Fire Department, Battalion 16, Engine 161, Truck 161, Ambulance 161, Engine 163, Engine 164. You have a report of a structure fire.
I've got that lightning inside me. fade. There is no time to waste. I've got that lightning inside me. This is how legends are made. This is how legends are made. This is how legends are made. I'm cranking up on the throttle, victory is mine. Show you the harder the battle, harder I fight. I've come too far to quit. Step back, I'm going in. I'm cranking up on the throttle. This is how legends are made. This is how legends are made. This is how legends are made. Like iron from the fire, getting stronger. This is how legends are made. Above it all, untouchable, a new animal. This is how legends are made. This is how legends are made. This is how legends are made.
This is our new recruitment video that will be going out, and you will see this on Facebook. You'll see it all over, but we wanted you to see it first here tonight. Monday, May 29th, is the City of Waukegan's Memorial Day Parade and Ceremony. The parade will start at the intersection of Genesee and Washington and proceed up Washington Street to Veterans Memorial Plaza on the southwest side of the intersection of Washington and West Streets. All of you are invited to come. For more information, you can call 847-599-2525. We step off at 10:45. For those of you participating, you should be there by 10:30. And we will step off, and the actual ceremony will be at 11 o'clock. Waukegan Friends is hosting the Waukegan Pride Parade and Festival on Saturday, June 1st. The parade is from 1 to 3, and the festival is from 2 to 7. More information can be found on waukeganfriends.org or by calling 847-533-0091. Today we learned about a new program with the Hefty Renew Recycling program, and this is in addition to the recycling that you're already doing. What it will do is concentrate on recyclables that you're not putting in your recycling bin right now, like plastic forks, plastic plates, all of that. What you will do is, this is being kicked off in Lake County probably in September. You will be able to buy orange Hefty bags in the grocery store. You will fill that with those particular items that, like your packaging that you get from Amazon and some of that stuff. There will be specific instructions coming in the coming months. You will add that bag to your recycling bin. Do not mix the two. They are two different things. There is a cost in buying those bags at the grocery store, or you'll be able to buy them at Ace Hardware, the grocery stores, Walmart, Target, any of those places. And then you can recycle that way. Again, I want to remind people, we have had some issues with recycling in our city, that you are using the recycling bins to put grass clippings and everything else in. That is not what recycling is for. If you look at the recycling bin that you have, on the top of it, it will give you all the items that can go in that blue recycling bin. These are things that are not eligible for the blue recycling bin but can still be recycled. What I will tell you is it will take 38 bags to make a new park bench, all of those things. It is moving us in a different direction. It is moving us towards sustainability. And as a city like Waukegan size, we need to become environmentally conscious and step up and do this. So we will be unveiling the program in September. You'll be getting more information on that along the way. I want to reach out to a gentleman who's 81 years old. His name is John Campana, and you will meet him at the next city council meeting. He had a Las Vegas trip to the 2024 United State Bowling Congress Open Championships. He has actually appeared in the 100,000 pin club at the USBC Open Championships. I think at 81, that's a pretty big accomplishment to be bowling like that. So you will see him at the next city council meeting. There are currently letters that have gone out to everybody in the city about lead pipes. That is something that we were mandated to do, I think it was by the IEPA. Not everybody is affected in this city by lead pipes. If your home was built after 1986, chances are you don't have lead pipes. But we do ask you to follow the rules on that and do the scraping and send it in just in case. But chances are if your home was built after 1986, you don't have lead pipes. But again, this is a mandate that we had to send out over 12,000 letters to everybody to let them know that this is a request that is being made of us. Starting next week, next Tuesday, hydrants will be flushed, and they will be starting in the 9th Ward and working through all of the wards. So watch for signs in your area about hydrants being flushed. Remember, you want to be careful on the days that hydrants are being flushed. It can make your laundry turn yellow, so be prepared about that. Again, you will see those signs in your neighborhood as we get there. Last, I'd like to call up Deputy Chief Neal to talk about our crime blotter and update us. We do this once a month, and he will deliver all the updates for us. Thank you, Deputy Chief Neal.
Good evening, council and guests. Our crime blotter information for this month, our total number of incidents up till May is over 2,156 incidents. Our total number of traffic citations issued during the month of April, 466 citations, and our parking and non-compliance citations issued, 1,108. Our total number of firearms recovered were 70 up to this point of the year. We also would like to report an investigation that went into the Genesee Street shooting that took place on April 14th at 9:30 at night. As a result of that investigation, there was a search warrant that resulted in 5 rifles, 3 handguns, multiple rounds of ammunition, and 4 arrests to close that investigation from the Genesee Street shooting. We also would like to report that the liquor license for Ibiza Bar, located at the 17 North Genesee Street establishment, has had their liquor license revoked and the decision upheld by the Illinois Liquor Control Commission. This means the establishment can no longer legally sell liquor as of May 15th. Any questions?
That.
Thank you.
Again, when we're talking about the Ibiza license, they had their day here in court. They appealed to the state. They lost their first case. They had another hearing that they requested, and they lost their hearing last week. So they can no longer sell liquor. So if any of you are in there and you see them selling liquor, please notify us. We just want to make the public aware that you should not be able to get liquor in Ibiza. That concludes mayor comments. On to resolutions, proclamations, presentations, and appointments. The first proclamation is for the World Migratory Bird Day, and we go ahead and have our Madam Clerk for this evening read that.
Thank you, Mayor. The World Migratory Bird Day, whereas migratory birds are some of the most beautiful and easily observed wildfire that shares our community, and Waukegan is part of an important migratory bird route as part of the Lake Michigan corridor with bird stops at its lakefront parks, ravines, and homes. And whereas many citizens recognize and welcome migratory sunbirds and aquatic birds as symbolic harbingers of the change of season, and whereas these migrant species also play an important economic role in our city, controlling insects, pets, attacking bidders to visit from outside our community. And whereas insects provide essential energy from migratory birds, critical for their survival during migration and other stages of their life cycles, especially when feeding their offsprings. Whereas massive decline in insect population in many parts of the world is having serious implications for migratory birds, and whereas migratory birds and their habitats are declining throughout the Americas and are facing growing number of threats on migration routes and from their summer and winter homes. And whereas public education awareness and concern are crucial components of bird conservation, and citizens who are informed about the threats birds face are empowered to help address those threats, directly contributing to maintaining healthy bird populations. And whereas since 1993, World Migratory Bird Day, formerly International Migratory Bird Day, has become a primary vehicle for focusing public attention on the nearly 350 species that travel from wintering in South and Central America, Mexico, the Caribbean, and the southern U.S. to nesting habitats in our community and throughout North America. And whereas live population attracts disorders nocturnally migrant birds, making them more likely to land in areas where they are more vulnerable to collisions and other dangers, individuals, communities, and government are encouraged to dim the lights, and therefore be it resolved that Mayor Ann Taylor and members of the City Council of Waukegan, Illinois, do hereby proclaim May 11, 2024 as World Migratory Bird Day, and urge all citizens to celebrate this observance and to support efforts to protect our birds and protect our insects to help conserve migratory birds and their habitats in our community and the world at large. Be it further resolved that in honor of the 5-year anniversary of the successful collaboration between the City of Waukegan and the Lake County Abundant Society of our Sharing Our Shore initiative, we encourage the positive impact of this awareness campaign and officially proclaim that the Pipo plover, Waukegan most beloved migratory bird, be named as Waukegan official bird henceforth from this date, Monday, May 20th, 2024, and that a suitably embossed copy of this proclamation signed by the mayor and the city clerk be presented to the Lake County Abundant Society, adopted this 20th day of May 2024.
Can I have you all come up? And I want to present the proclamation to you.
Yeah, should I just, I'm just gonna
Yeah,
set this
yeah,
on the.
yeah. We're going to have you guys. We'll do a picture first and then we'll do.
Okay.
We're going to all go in the middle and do a picture. And, yep. So, for those of you who don't know, I am a big fan of getting the dunes in great shape. We've had some issues with them over the last couple of years. Our lakefront, thanks to our lakefront coordinator, is in great shape right now. And the dunes are looking great, which is where we need our dunes to be so that we can have our birds back. And so if we can do the picture, and then I'm going to let them speak.
Everyone make smiles, please. Squeeze in a little closer. Sometimes I wish I was tall. 1, 2, 3, smile. One more. There it is.
And then phone in. Can I? Thank you. Would you like to go ahead and speak for?
Okay. On behalf of the Lake County Audubon Society and the Sharing Our Shore initiative, thank you for proclaiming the Great Lakes piping plover the official bird of Waukegan. Please accept this partnership packet that will be passed out about information about the program. During the 5 years of the Sharing Our Shore Waukegan partnership, we've worked together to let the public know about piping plovers and that the Waukegan dunes are a special and unique habitat. And our partnership program has become a model for cities that border the Great Lakes region. We'd like to express our appreciation to the many people within the city who've been essential to the effort, the lakefront coordinator, the rangers, the police department, public relations, the library staff, and all those working in the Waukegan Park District, the Waukegan Symphony Orchestra and Waukegan Band, and the other community organizations who've collaborated with us. It's been a privilege to work with all of you, and we're looking forward to many more successful years of Sharing Our Shore Waukegan partnership. Thank you very much, and I want to mention it's a real pleasure to be here on the 3rd year of you being a bird city. And as those who don't know, Waukegan was in conjunction with 2 other cities, the first bird cities in the state of Illinois. So congratulations.
Thank you so much. Again, I can't tell you how much we appreciate all you do. It's a commitment on our part and on your part to making sure that our bird population is taken care of and that our lakefront is taken care of. So we appreciate you being here and all the work that you do for our community. So thank you. Next is, we did the proclamation on Saturday night, but Pastor Roberson, I would like you to stand while we read it here this evening so that you can be recognized. We won't give you the proclamation. I won't make you do pictures. We did all that. But I would like you to stand and be recognized for the 30 years of service you have given. Both. You know what? I think we would like to do a picture with the alderman as well, as you read it.
Yes.
If we could do that.
Sure.
We'll do a picture with the alderman.
Recognizing Pastor Eugene Roberson for 30 years of service. Whereas Pastor Eugene Roberson entered the ministry in 1979 and served as the assistant to the late Pastor Peter Goudot Jr. and was ultimately named pastor of the First Corinthian Missionary Baptist Church on May 15, 1994. And whereas Pastor Eugene Roberson vision for God's church became a reality as Corinthian member, family, and friends marched from North Chicago Community High School to their new 2.2 million edifice. And whereas Pastor Eugene Roberson's goal of paying the church mortgage within 10 years was fulfilled as the deed burning ceremony was held Sunday, April 10, 2011. Whereas Pastor Eugene Roberson was named elite and distinguished top pastor at the 2018 Rhythm of Gospel Awards held in Greenville, South Carolina. Pastor Roberson's honors, awards, and appointments include but are not limited to the following: first African American in Lake County to open in session of Congress, most influential African American of Lake County, House of Representatives resolution, College of Lake County Harambee Award of Excellence, National Associations of University Women Award, Angel Drill Team Award, Key to the City of North Chicago, Key to the City of Florence, Alabama, and Community Achievement Award. And whereas under Pastor Roberson's leadership, First Corinthian Missionary Baptist Church has experienced tremendous growth, both in number and spiritually, and new membership averages approximately 125 per year. And whereas Pastor Roberson is a leader, preacher, teacher, mentor, and advisor with a gifted rapport with young people and African American males, and he has helped to create a new generation of members at First Corinthian. And whereas Pastor Roberson helped establish various outreach initiatives that include back to school backpacks giveaway, annual Christmas holidays, food basket giveaway, as well as assisting families in crisis situations. Whereas Pastor Roberson and his congregation have grown and prospered as an institution of time-honored family values and selfless love. And now, therefore, be it resolved that Mayor M.B. Taylor and the members of the City Council of Waukegan, Illinois, do hereby honor and congratulate Pastor Eugene Roberson of First Corinthian Missionary Baptist Church of North Chicago on his 30th pastoral anniversary, and we formally extend our best wishes. And be it further resolved that this proclamation be read at Pastor Roberson's 30th pastoral anniversary on Saturday, May 18, 2024, and enter into the public record at the Waukegan City Council meeting on Monday, May 20th, 2024. Adopted this 20th day of May 2024.
In the middle. We will move on to audience time. We have 22 speakers signed up. I'm sorry, I almost passed one over. Can I have Sam Green come up? I can't even, oh, there he is. Okay.
Mayor, before we go forward, we're going to start with the same thing as last time, do a 45-minute.
We're not there yet.
Yeah.
I swear I won't take 45 minutes. Hi, everyone. My name is Sam Green. I work in the Planning and Zoning Department here. One of my roles in that department is to serve as the staff liaison to the Historic Preservation Commission. The Historic Preservation Commission is tasked with protecting the historical and architectural character of the city of Waukegan and promoting the voluntary preservation and enhancement of our city's historic resources. The HPC has traditionally achieved this through the designation of landmarks and historic districts, formal designations that preserve building exteriors and open the door for improvements through private, state, and national funding sources. This year, the Historic Preservation Commission is adding a new method for preservation, nomination of historically significant properties. This ceremonial recognition is different from landmarking. It does not have the same property implications as landmarks, but it is similar in its intent to bring awareness to the cultural importance of Waukegan's historic resources and encourage preservation as a whole. I'm going to read off the 5 properties that our Historic Preservation Commission nominated for this first round of historically significant properties. I'll read them all off and then have everyone up for a picture at the end. Our first property is the Sign of the Dove Church on 10th Street, the former Slavenic Hall. This building is historically significant for the role it played in the social, spiritual, and political components of many early Waukegan settlers' lives. Slavenic immigration to Waukegan concentrated around 10th and McAllister, starting as early as 1892. By 1903, there were already 500 Slovenes in the Waukegan area, and the Mother of God Catholic Church was built at a cost of $10,000. With religious needs seen to, they began to work on the Slavenic National Home just 10 years later to see to their social, cultural, educational, and athletic needs. The men of the community built the hall themselves with member contributions and on the profits from fundraising activities. It would finish in 1918. This hall was modeled after other Slovene settlements throughout the country, consisting of a 2-storied brick building with a great hall, a gymnasium with a full stage, bocce courts, and many special purpose rooms used as offices, libraries, meeting rooms, and game rooms. Slavenic halls like Waukegan's were often social centers as well, featuring a bar and holding polka parties and ballroom dances for Waukegan citizens. Since most of the Slovenes had come to America at the invitation of growing steel mills, politics soon became the part of the mandate for hall usage, and it became a hub for steelworkers organizing to form a chapter of the Steelworkers Union. In fact, well-known union organizer Mother Jones gave rallying speeches to the steelworkers on 2 occasions in favor of unionizing. The building had many uses while and after it was the Slavenic Hall. Today, it is home to Sign of the Dove Church, where it continues to be an anchor for the area's current population. Our second property is the Waukegan Water Filtration Plant, which was completed in 1928. This building is a hulking mass of brick masonry, linear terracotta, and brick quan details that can be attributed to the Art Deco style of the 1920s. You can see similar features in other historical buildings in Waukegan from that era, as well as the old YMCA, the Genesee Theater, and the Masonic Temple. As a utilitarian building, the water plant has less ornamental design than some of the other buildings from that area, or that era, but it is exceptionally detailed for a building that houses large machinery, pumps, filtration tanks, and controls. The water plant is filled with historical gems everywhere you look, including the massive wooden entry doors, neat double-acting steel doors, old water filtration tank controls, and old wooden water pipe. There were 2 additions built in 1967, a raw material building to the south, which houses the initial filter for the water intake, and a filtration tank to the north, where the final filtration process takes place. In the past 20 years, the plant has undergone some massive upgrades, which has greatly increased its water output. Today, the water plant continues to be a source of revenue, employment, and of course, fresh water for the city. Third historically significant property is Quonset Pizza in Waukegan, which is a historically significant building for 3 reasons. The original Quonset hut structure of the building, the 50s styles interior decor, and the amazing thin crust pizza served. Around 1946, after being discharged from the service, Steve Moretti and Joe Ambrosio bought a Quonset hut and opened a Quonset huts were structures widely used during World War II as an all-purpose, lightweight building that could be easily shipped and assembled anywhere. This Quonset hut is believed to have been purchased from Fort Sheridan or the Waukegan Airport. Exterior facades have been redone, and the semicircular shape of the Quonset building is no longer visible from the outside. The interior was renovated around the late 1970s or early 80s with a 19-styles diner motif, re-exposing the curved ceiling of the structure and featuring ceiling fans, pendant lighting fixtures, and wall sconces emblematic of the time. The long bar and booths are original to the building. The pizza itself is also legendary. In this professional planner's opinion, the Quonset cheese and sausage pizza is a perfect blend of tangy tomato sauce, a plethora of flavorful cheese, and a savory sausage on a light, thin crust. The quality of the pizza is a testament to why the business has lasted 78 years, and the most recent owners, Tyler Shadden and Jeremiah Johnson, have done an outstanding job to maintain the history and legacy that is Quonset Pizza. Fourth is Hyde Park Elementary School. This school is historically significant for its architecture. Designed by Ganster and Henninghausen, a prominent local architecture firm whose projects include the Waukegan Public Library, tuberculosis sanatorium, and several Waukegan schools and residences, this building is representative of the 1950s era when it was built. Upon first glance, one will notice the building is designed with long, horizontal roof lines that extend beyond the walls of the building and wide rectangular windows. This design is emblematic of the Prairie style, a quintessential Midwest style of building. As you continue to study the building, you'll notice more details about the building that show its mid-century charms, such as masonry, crafted woodwork, and chevron stone detailing. The building had a number of additions through the years, creating distinct breaks in the style of the facade. The site of the school is also an important component. Nestled on a dead end and backing up to the Waukegan Ravine in Yeoman Park, this school sits on a prime lot in a storied neighborhood. This building is an aesthetic marvel both inside and out. And our last historically significant property of this year is the Immaculate Conception Church. Downtown Waukegan is home to many historic churches, many of which are landmarks. The Immaculate Conception Church, though not officially classified as a landmark, is a striking contributor to the architectural and historical significance of downtown Waukegan. The building exterior is adorned with a hulking portico that boasts Corinthian columns and exquisitely detailed cornices, all under a soaring bell tower and steeple. Stained glass hangs above the 6 wooden doors that make up the entrance to the building. Once inside, architectural wonders continue, but there is more than meets the eye. The truly unique element of this building is the steel frame it is built with. Below the gray stones and terracotta detailing lies a network of steel girders that make up the structure of the building, a truly unusual method for the time. This network of steel can be seen in the attic of the building where the girders all come together. This building still holds services and is surrounded by Most Blessed Trinity Academy. Those are our 5 historically significant properties. I hope you all learned something about a very historic part of Waukegan today, and we encourage you to follow the work of the Historic Preservation Commission and what they do. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Green. That was actually really, really interesting. I love that. So thank you for bringing that to council for us. And what a great presentation. Thank you. So next we'll go on to audience time, and what my recommendation will... Oh.
You're the recipient of that award.
So we'll move on to audience time. My recommendation is going to be that last time we had 20 speakers in 45 minutes. This time we've got 22 signed up, so why don't we just do them all? I will remind people that, please, we have rules of decorum. When someone is up here speaking, please do not speak over them. Please do not argue with them. That's not how we want appropriate behavior in the city. But we will go down and do all 22 speakers, and then I will give the aldermen like a 10-minute break, and then we'll come back and do the business of the city, if that's okay with all of the aldermen. Okay.
That's reasonable.
Anybody opposed to that? Okay, perfect. Madam Clerk, you want to start?
Congress stay open to 4 o'clock in the morning if they got to. But they oppose it.
Otherwise, again, if you can't follow rules of decorum, you will be asked to leave.
Silence means that you agree with it.
All right, so I'm going to call the first 5. If you can line up on the east side of the room. When you do come up, please state your name for the record. The first 5 is, and I apologize if I mispronounce your name, I'm going to try my best. 1 is Aurora Flores. 2 is Hamad Monday. 3 is Hamas Ibrahim. 4 is Pastor Mark Roland Hagen. 5 is the Deaconess Katie Fruit. 1. You can start whenever.
Okay. Hello, my name is Aurora Flores. According to research conducted less than a month ago by Data for Progress, 70% of U.S. likely voters support a permanent ceasefire resolution in Gaza. However, 0% of this council was willing to ask that a ceasefire resolution be placed on today's agenda while closing your last meeting 2 weeks ago, a meeting where the majority of community members called for this. While you may feel that a genocide across seas doesn't touch our lives in Waukegan, which is a heartless feeling and a false reality to hold, one of the root issues behind the atrocities in Gaza actually encapsulates everything that poisons our community here every day, and that's white supremacy. It's white supremacy that created Zionism, a hierarchical system, and built settler Israel through massacres of indigenous people, just as this settler nation was. It's white supremacy that illegalized me, the majority of my life, for being born on the other side of an imaginary line. This perpetual carcerality continues to tear apart the lives and well-being of many of our community members. It's white supremacy that criminalizes Waukeganites for being under-resourced, an issue that this city attempts to resolve by spending our tax dollars on over-policing versus meeting housing, health, or basic needs. We'd rather fund a profession that grew out of slave patrols that actually has no legal obligation to protect people, only property. It's white supremacy that fills our city with companies who choose this town to pollute the air and water of, cutting the average lifespan in Waukegan to 68 years, or 64 in North Chicago, while towns like Lake Forest and Highland Park reach 79. It's white supremacy that subjects the beautiful children in our schools to an underfunded education and the school-to-prison pipeline, never giving them a fair chance like the kids at affluent and predominantly white schools in our county. It's white supremacy that teaches us to believe that those who are unhoused in our community deserve jail or even death, making things like community fridges or mutual aid abnormal in this town. It's white supremacy that keeps our roads full of potholes because this country can send billions upon billions to a genocidal force overseas, but can't spare a dollar for Waukegan. It's white supremacy that institutionalized me as a child for depression that no one could explain the root of. I wasn't just depressed, I am oppressed every day, and I'd be more sick to respond as though that's normal. I could continue on, but for the sake of time, my point is that this city is flooded with issues, and I know that. I know that because I live the struggle every day, and we live the struggle every day. But I promise you the struggle and oppression of everyone in this room is tied to the struggle and oppression of everyone globally, including our Palestinian siblings. And it's your duty and obligation to make sure that you hack away at that wherever you can, especially during a genocide. You do absolutely no harm by passing a permanent ceasefire resolution. You do, however, reinforce every single harm that I spoke about today by staying silent. You don't have to be white to be an agent of white supremacy. Our local government is a very firm testament to that. So please pass a permanent ceasefire resolution, and please don't let that be all that you do. Free Palestine and free us all. Thank you.
Thank you. You can start.
Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Ahmad. I'm from the 9th Ward, from your ward. Very powerful statement by Sister Aurora. I want to say that 2 weeks ago, we stood here, a large conglomerate, and discussed many aspects of the genocide that's going on, the relevance of it to our city and our taxpayers. And honestly, I'm a little disappointed that it's fallen on what seems like deaf ears. It seems that for the past 2 weeks, we've been reaching out to council members, to everybody that we can, and we still have it on the agenda today. I'm not asking for you guys to do everything overnight, but you can at least add it to your agenda. You could add it to your agenda tonight. One of the council members, just one, and I ask you, Alderman Hayes, you're my alderman, go ahead and propose adding it to the agenda, and let's have a discussion. And let's talk about something that's happening seemingly across the world, but that's happening with our money, mine, yours, each and every one of ours. And while it may seem comfortable that we can just ignore what's happening over there and act like we were being silent and kind of, not listening to what's going on, the truth is we've brought it up to your attention if the past 7 months hasn't already brought it up to your attention. So silence is actually more of a statement than it is ignorance. Ignorance isn't bliss in this case. Silence is actually complicity. I'm a U.S. citizen as all of you are. Let's not be complicit in this. Let's talk about it. You're in a position of power for the city of Waukegan, one of the biggest cities in Illinois. Let's go ahead and show that what Waukeganites stand for, and it's not for genocide. And it's not for genocide with our money. So I'm asking one of you, honestly, I don't have a speech prepared. I'm asking one of you, please go ahead and propose adding it to the agenda. We were told that it couldn't be added and whatnot, and this was before Friday when the agendas are finalized. So I don't like having these things be pushed aside. If you guys want to stand for genocide or silence on it, go ahead and make your statements, loud and clear, and we can act on that. But 40,000 people have been murdered, half of which are children. What does it take for my city council to say something about it? What does it take for my city council to have a statement on something like this, especially because it's funded with our dollars? So I ask, finally, and again, I ask one of you, any one of you, go ahead and bring it up tonight. I know that you guys are aware of it. We made sure of that 2 weeks ago. So please, bring it up tonight, add it to the agenda, and let's talk about this. Thank you.
Thank you. Next.
Good evening. My name is Hamas Ibrahim. First let me start off by saying that I want to clarify that my name, while spelled similarly, is and has no connection to any political or militant organizations. I was born with the name. I have been a Muslim my entire life, born and raised. Both my parents were Muslim, and then I, in turn, was born a Muslim. So, and I stand in front of you as a proud Muslim. It's hard for me to hold back my emotion right now. We all know what's been going on. We all need to no longer be silent. Speak up. You have a powerful position locally. Just because it's a small town does not mean we can't speak big. So with that being said, I'm here tonight as a concerned citizen sharing my personal perspective on a humanitarian issue that deeply affects me and our community. I think if we were the ones in desperate need of help to survive, we would want any and everyone speaking out on our behalf, regardless of if it's small, local, or globally. Excuse me, I've been part of the Waukegan community for over 30 years. I've been volunteering throughout the Waukegan community for over 25 years, whether it was with the Waukegan Park District or other local nonprofit organizations. Excuse me. I believe the people of the Gaza deserve a ceasefire, and I understand that our community Waukegan might feel distant from this conflict. However, I urge us not to underestimate the power of our voices, no matter how small our town may seem. Every effort we make to advocate for the protection of human life has value. I've been listening carefully to the discussions taking place both here and in the wider media. And I sense that some may feel uneasy about calls for a ceasefire, fearing unintended consequences. To those who feel this way, I respectfully ask you to consider the possibility that we might be missing an important message. Perhaps focusing on responding to arguments, we've lost the sight of underlying need for understanding and compromise. I hope tonight we can create a space for open dialogue where we listen to understand, not just to respond. Thank you.
Yeah. You can start.
Good evening, Mayor Taylor and alderpersons. My name is Mark Rollenhagen, and I am a resident of Waukegan and the pastor of St. Paul's Lutheran Church on Lewis, just north of Grand. Many of you know the work that we do in this community, providing for basic needs, feeding and clothing people, as well as working towards providing quality, affordable housing and mental health care, basic essentials necessary for people and communities to thrive. Some of that work is done through interfaith cooperation among members of the community organizing group Lake County United. But tonight I'm here to speak to an issue that's much broader in scope, international in fact, and yet oh so personal to those whose lives hang in the balance. I'm here to urge you to support a resolution calling for an immediate ceasefire in the war in Gaza, a war that has caused unconscionable death and devastation, and a famine that will continue to kill countless people. It is nothing less than a humanitarian crisis that people of conscience can't ignore. As a Christian, I kind of feel like I'm watching two beloved friends, Muslims and Jews, at seemingly irreconcilable odds with each other. I understand the intensity and the history of the deep, deep conflict. There is much reason for acrimony and distrust and anger. And for those of us without roots or family in the Middle East, it's tempting to simply turn away, maybe even grow callous or indifferent. Many of you might have watched 60 Minutes last night and seen the interview with the Pope. He said, "We have to get our hearts to feel again. We cannot remain indifferent. The globalization of indifference is a very ugly disease." Now, while your voice as a city council in Waukegan, Illinois might seem and might very well be insignificant in the stage of international politics and power, that does not absolve you or any of us from the responsibility to speak for the protection and preservation of human life. No voice is too small. I speak for myself, and I speak as a leader of the ELCA, the Evangelical Lutheran Church in America, whose Conference of Bishops recently also called for an immediate ceasefire in Gaza. Thank you for listening.
You can start.
Hello, my name is, this weekend, I am now the Reverend Catherine Freund. I serve at a church in Libertyville. I live here in Waukegan. I live on Ridgeland Avenue. My husband is a middle school teacher at Miguel Juarez. We love Waukegan. We get our coffee from Drippin' Culture. My daughter is so excited to start kindergarten here in Waukegan Public Schools. We drive by it every day on my day to work, and she goes, "That's my school." We love Waukegan. But I'm here because we are bound together. We are all humanly bound together. All three of the Abrahamic faiths are bound together. We are interwoven in our holy scriptures, in our teachings, and in the land we revere as holy. We are bound together because, as taught by Nelson Mandela, as taught by Archbishop Desmond Tutu, my humanity is bound up in yours. I cannot dehumanize you without dehumanizing myself. I cannot abide anyone else being dehumanized without it infringing upon my own humanity. I stand before you as a religious leader because it is our moral imperative to stand against genocide. In my vocation, I'm the director of early faith formation. I play with kids and families, and I do fun programs for them. And during Holy Week, we did a pilgrimage through Holy Week, where we taught them all about Maundy, Thursday, Good Friday, Holy Saturday, all the way up through Easter. We had a waffle Easter breakfast, and it felt trite and trivial, considering what was happening to our siblings across the globe. So we did a fundraiser. We raised money for the Lutheran Disaster Response, providing support for the Augusta Victoria Hospital in Gaza. Let me tell you, it did not feel like enough. It felt trite. But we do what we can. This past Sunday was Pentecost, bookending the end of our season of Easter. It was the late Rachel Held Evans who said that when death is before us, sometimes it is enough to come to the grave, bringing spices for burial. When death is before us, sometimes it is enough just to show up, bearing spices for burial to witness a miracle. And so while this resolution might seem meager, while it might seem like it's none of our business, like it's across the globe, or it's not our problem, we stand before you, and I pray that we are heard, and we are hoping for the miracle that our local government will indeed align with our moral imperative and our moral values. For those of us who claim to be Christian, Herod killed 14,000 at the slaughter of the innocents.
Thank you.
15,000 children
The
have
next
died in
5.
Gaza.
I'm going to call the next 5 if you can line up on the east side of the room. Amal Hassan, Yesenia Reese, Mary Reese, Priscilla Resendiz, and Dave Power. Again, the next 5, Amal Hassan, Yesenia Reese, Mary Reese, Priscilla Resendiz, and Dave Power. Please state your name again for the record. And you can start.
Amal Hassan. I'm a resident of Regency Woods in the 9th Ward. I'm also a college student at the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign. So I stand before you guys today empowered by the encampment at UIUC and college campuses all over the world, a demonstration of student resilience that reminded me of the power of community voice and the quest for justice and transparency. During the peaceful protest at UIUC, fellow students were met with resistance and an overwhelming police presence simply for advocating for a university to be transparent about where our funds were being invested. Student demands were not complex, they were of human domain. My classmates and I recognize the power and privilege we have to shape this year's elections as first-time voters and continue to fight for change. It is crucial to recognize that demanding accountability and calling for a ceasefire in conflict zones is not an issue of being anti-Semitic or pro-Palestinian. It's about being pro-humanity. In our discussion today, I urge us to envision Waukegan not just as a city, but as a pioneer of justice and a beacon of safety for all. Our dialogue on international conflicts, especially the devastating situation in Palestine, must be rooted in a balanced and humane perspective. The commitment to safety and security must encompass all involved, thereby avoiding partiality and ensuring that our advocacy is for human life above all. Cities like Urbana and Chicago have set precedents by adopting policies that reflect their commitment to human rights and transparency, particularly by their passing of a ceasefire resolution in their economic interactions and investments. Waukegan has the opportunity to join these cities and lead by example, to be a city that does not shy away from difficult conversations and decisions that could ultimately guide us toward a more equitable and peaceful world. Genocide has reached a heart-wrenching toll with over 35,000 lost, half of whom were children. This devastating number forces us to confront the reality of a disproportionate response and the urgent need for a ceasefire, which the United States continues to veto at the United Nations as the only country. This stance not only perpetuates the conflict, but also deepens the humanitarian crisis. Therefore, advocating for a ceasefire is not about taking sides. It's about aligning our actions with our shared values of compassion, justice, and respect for human lives. It's about ensuring that our city's voice contributes towards building peace rather than perpetuating conflict. In conclusion, Waukegan has a chance to lead, to inspire, and to advocate for a world where fostering peace could be a tangible reality. Waukegan can be that pioneer city in Lake County, committed not just in words but in action to upholding the dignity and safety of all human beings. I hope you can find the humanity within you to make the correct decision. Thank you.
Thank you. Yesenia Reese.
Yesenia Reese. So hello again. Thank you so much for meeting with me today. The reason why I'm disputing this issue is for the petty traffic violations and tickets, such as issuing parking tickets during the hours of 6 a.m. to 11:59 a.m., weekdays and weekends all year round. I was issued 3 parking tickets at 11 o'clock in the morning. There are bigger problems that should be dealt with, such as murderers, shooters, burglars, speed racers, rapists, wars, and all other heinous crimes and criminals. I'm sure I can speak for others when I say that they would rather have their tax-paying dollars go to officers that are actually catching criminals, not for handing out parking tickets at 11 o'clock in the morning, especially after running errands and then deciding to park on my side of the street so I could bring those errands in. People have other things to worry about. My neighborhood has been experiencing vehicle break-ins. My car, my brand new car, and my mother's car have been broken into, along with others in our neighborhood and the surrounding neighborhoods. I saw a police officer in the neighborhood the other day, but now the question is, are they actually looking to find a suspect, or are they actually issuing parking tickets? For the past few weeks, I have contacted the non-emergency number and spoken to a few different officers there. I have tried to contest these parking violations a few times, even mailing in documents for the Uniform Commercial Code, aka the laws of the commercial law. They did not even bother to look at my evidence. The supervisor still has not called me back till this day. So I have decided to take it upon myself to start studying commercial law, common law, merchants law, banking policies, and anything else that can help provide people with some clarity and some remedy. Now I have a few questions for y'all. I would like to see the budget sheet. And I also would like to see all the complaints that the people have placed against the traffic division for the petty violations. It was how many? 456 citations? I would like to see who sets the bar for these budgets. Are the officers penalized for not meeting their quotas? Do the city council members get a commission for those tickets? Do the officers get a commission for those tickets? Despite that this is a civil matter, I feel as though our time and the officers' time can be used for more important things. By the way, I want a full disclosure on what our tax-paying dollars go to, please, and thank you.
Yeah, Mary Reese.
I'm Mary Reese, and I'm here tonight because of the noise in my neighborhood. I live on the busy street of Lewis Avenue, and there's no respect for people when they're trying to sleep at night. The music starts at 8 o'clock on Saturday night, and it goes until the following morning. I have phoned the police and asked for assistance, but they claim they're too busy doing other things and don't have time to come to ask the person to quiet the music down. So I have to learn to deal with being awake all night on Saturday night. And then there is people that live in my neighborhood that take Lewis Avenue for Indianapolis 500. They race between Richland and Glen Flora all the time, all day, all night. They have no special time to do that. And there has been a house where someone was racing, lost control, ran into the home and collapsed the porch. They've also ran into my house and in my yard during the race, and so I'm trying to find out if there's anything that can be done to stop the people from racing like that in Indianapolis 500. People live there, and it's dangerous. You don't know if you're out sweeping or cleaning your sidewalk if someone's going to run into you and hit you or not. So I'm trying to find out if there's anything that can be done about the speeding. And then there's neighbors that don't keep their property up. There's garbage in the backyard. There's old cars sitting in the backyard. And they should take pride in what they're paying for, but they don't seem to care. There's lawns that has weeds that are real high. And you drive past and you wonder what is going on, why they don't take pride in the place where they live. And then the last thing I have to say, according to what I'm understanding from the Bible as a child growing up, God created Adam and Eve. And from Adam and Eve We're all sisters and brothers. So why are sisters and brothers killing each other? I can't understand that.
Yeah. Priscilla.
Good evening. My name is Priscilla Resendez. I'm a longtime resident of Waukegan. I'm speaking here today, along with all these people, to see my city council pass a resolution to demand an end to the genocide being perpetrated against the Palestinian people. I first learned about Palestine when I was in middle school here in Waukegan 23 years ago. I had a Palestinian social studies teacher. I remember my class being curious about where that was and her showing us Israel on the map. She never spoke about the historical conditions or context of Palestine and Israel, but my curious 12-year-old mind wanted to dig a little deeper, and it was the maps that confused me. That Palestine could lose so much land to Israel in living memory was contrary to everything I had thought to be true. No one could be conquering and expanding their borders anymore, could they? As I grew older and learned about the political reasons to contrive the creation of such a state, it became increasingly clear that we all have a responsibility to speak up for the Palestinian people who are living under occupation and an apartheid system, who risk their lives for daring to exist in their homeland. In my time organizing and demonstrating for Palestine, I have met so many people who feel called to act, to show up, to use their voices. Some are seasoned organizers, but still more are people who are new to this and feel resolved to join the struggle in whatever ways they can. The longer this goes on, I guarantee there will be more of us. You have the opportunity to put Waukegan on the right side of history. The people have shown that this movement will not be stopping anytime soon. The more you ignore it, the more we all will remember that you did not stand with us, because we will keep this going, whether it's in these chambers or out in the streets, until Palestine is free. Thank you.
Power.
Hello, my name is David Power. I'm a Waukegan resident in the 6th Ward. I'm also an organizer with the Answer Coalition. This stands for Act Now to Stop War and End Racism. Now, 2 weeks ago, I stood up here after waiting nearly 3 hours to say my piece about why you should vote for a ceasefire resolution and why you should at least put it on the agenda. I arrived to that meeting nearly 40 minutes early and the public comment sheet was already full. There were more people than I could count in this room that came to speak in favor of a ceasefire, and yet the only 5 people against the ceasefire were the first people to speak. They said that us pro-Palestinian speakers are getting paid to support Palestine. They said that we're given a script. They said that we hated Jewish people because we don't support Israel's actions. But the truth is, I'm not paid. I'm not scripted. And if you hear us repeating talking points, it's because they are the truth. It is the truth that Israel is committing genocide. It is blowing up apartment buildings, schools, and hospitals. It is doing this with weapons paid for by the United States and with diplomatic cover that our government provides in the UN. I don't need to be paid to stand against this violence. I'm not even religious. I just care about people, and I will stand against imperialist violence no matter where I see it, no matter how broke or how tired it makes me to stand up. I am just doing what I can with what I have. And what I have is my time, my brain, my efforts, and a whole community of people to lean on. People wonder how we're so coordinated. How are they so professional? It's because we organize ourselves to accomplish great things. We would love to be at home, but it seems like we're needed here. Just like 2 weeks ago, I offered you a choice. Either stand with the people and do your best to end this genocide, or stand in our way and increase our distrust in the government and increase our conviction that we need to be acting in order to make a change, no matter who and no matter what stands in our way. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine.
Thank you. I'm going to call the next 5. Diane Verratti, Mansour, Lupe Bueno, Julian Ruiz, Jason Farias. Again, Diana Verratti, Mansour, Lupe Bueno, Julian Ruiz, Jason Farias.
Good evening. Diane Verratti is my name. Thanks, Mayor Taylor. You took away my first comment, and I'm thrilled. I want to talk about the Waukegan Fire Department and their recruiting efforts starting on June 3rd. And I never dreamed that you would show that awesome video. So please, everybody, share that video. It's available. Send it to somebody. You know somebody who's looking for their future. A neighbor, a friend, a family member, someone in your church organization. Please pass that out. I was so impressed by that video. I saw it 4 times. I thought about calling Chief Pazer and Chief Stickles to ask for a waiver so that I could be like an age and physical fitness waiver. But I figured that that wouldn't happen, so I'm not going to do that. Anyway, thank you. Please, I'm a member of the Civil Service Commission. Please get the word out. Fire department, police department, you can have people serve there. I have 2 other things. The UDO, the Unified Development Ordinance, will come before you next month for approval. The Planning and Zoning Department, the Chicago Metropolitan Agency for Planning, and other consultants have expended thousands of hours to prepare this ordinance. You received a draft weeks ago. Open houses have been held. City staff has been available to answer questions and clarify anything you don't understand. As a member of the project steering committee, my expectation is that each of you will have done your due diligence before the vote. Please get your ducks in a row and come prepared to approve the UDO in June. Number 3, since 4 of you are completing your first year on the council, I've devised a system of grades based on your performance. Having missed only 1 meeting in the last 12 months, I've had plenty of time to observe. Some of these comments apply to other aldermen as well. So, you get an A for attendance. You have attended most city council meetings, if not all. However, I have no way of knowing your participation in other meetings, such as aldermanic briefings and such. But for attendance on Monday nights, you get an A. Sadly, you deserve a D in preparedness. At every meeting, I hear comments such as, I don't understand, I have a question, my constituents don't know anything about this, I want to postpone, hold over, table this motion, I haven't seen this agenda item. Lack of preparation is inexcusable. I expect each of you to come to every meeting prepared to vote on every agenda item. Lastly, you deserve a D for your alderman's times. Please refrain from making motions, amending motions, spitballing ideas for motions, initiating discussions, etc., and stick to telling us how you have served us since the last meeting. And if I have 3 minutes to speak, I think you should have 3 minutes too. Hello.
The next one, Mansour. You can start now. You can start now.
Hi, my name is Mansour Qureshi. I lived in and around Waukegan my entire life, maybe a bit less so recently. But I'm here to speak on the council adopting at the very least, putting the CSAR proposal on the agenda. As we all know, like 35,000 people have died so far in this genocide, and that number is only going to go up. The ICJ earlier this year started processes for determining whether or not this is like genocide on a legal basis. The ICC, like this morning, put forth a request for arrest warrants for Netanyahu and Yoav Gallant. Like the history on this is clear, right? There is a right side and a wrong side. I'm just asking that you guys put yourself on the right side so that we, on the outside here, can feel like we were not complicit as well. To answer the question of whether or not this is completely applicable to Waukegan, seeing as it's one small town, small relative, the things we do here do matter. The people whose lives we touch and change, they do matter. And any push here can influence people who do actually have the power to end this genocide. Like one day less of bombing in like Rafah or Jabalia or any other refugee camp in Gaza is like how many hundreds of lives saved. Every day you guys don't do anything about this is another like 10, 15, 30 children dead. I don't know how you sleep. The thing is like, this isn't even gonna end like here with us coming to this podium to speak. All right, there have been marches outside. There are gonna continue to be marches. It's been 7 months and nobody stopped. Like, I don't know what we're waiting for. You know, how much worse does it have to get? That's all I have. I didn't prepare a speech, but I yield my time.
Thank you. The next one, Lupe Bueno. You can start now.
All right, hello, my name is Guadalupe Bueno. I am a resident here. I've been born and raised in Waukegan my entire life. I am in the 7th Ward, and I am disgusted. I am appalled that over $1 million of Waukegan money has funded this genocide. And I can give you the receipts later if you want to give me faces. You personally have bombed 14,000 children and almost 35,000 people. And since that doesn't mean anything to you, that is Gurnee. 30,000 people live in Gurnee. Because those numbers don't mean anything, let me put that in perspective. If you state yourself as a city of progress, you have severely stunted that growth. Let me remind you that you chose to be in these positions, and it's easy to get voted in, but it's not easy to keep those jobs. You chose to be public servants. Do your jobs and listen to these voices, listen to mine. I want to remind you all that that money could have been allocated to the several issues that you guys probably going to stay up all night discussing. The irony of celebrating historic marks in Waukegan and not recognize that hundreds of different historic sites have been bombed in Palestine is so dystopian, and I don't know how any of you don't see it. Pass the ceasefire resolution. I have no other words. Thank you.
Next one, Julian Ruiz. You can start.
Good evening. My name is Julian Ruiz. We came here again to ask that Waukegan City Council pass a ceasefire resolution. Hundreds, if not thousands, of people in this city want to see the suffering in Palestine to end. We must let the people funding the genocide know that we will not pay for it. In Waukegan, there are companies that do business with Israel, like Axel Noble and Yasakawa, and they do business here. So don't say that Waukegan has nothing to do with Israel. Passing this resolution is just the first step in showing that we will not be part of a genocide. And together, we're going to end it. That's all.
Thank you. Jason Farias.
Can I pass? What I passed out is a memorandum passed by the city of Urbana, Illinois, that I believe could present a strong framework for Waukegan's ceasefire resolution. If you could please pass it down to your fellow aldermen. This is the second page of the memorandum. My name is Jason. I'm a Waukegan resident. I spoke here 2 weeks ago. I want to begin by saying that resolutions are inherently symbolic. They are performative. They are a piece of political theater that may not necessarily be politically or fiscally binding. However, resolutions are a proclamation of our values and project a vision of the future we ought to strive for. We have come into this chamber tonight asking for a ceasefire resolution that reflects our vision of peace, justice, and the sanctity of human life. Despite that, many have spoken in this hall 2 weeks ago, not calling for peace, but for more war. The defenders of Israel say that they only want the destruction of Hamas, when in reality, they want the destruction of Gaza through the means of expulsion and indefinite Israeli military occupation. In the name of self-defense, the state of Israel wants to expand its borders on the US dime, subsidized by your tax dollars. Many settlers have already begun the process of speculating property values on the ethnically cleansed northern Gazan lakefronts. Obviously, this is illegal. Obviously, this is immoral. The whole world sees it, with the exception of Israel, who is committing the genocide, and the government of the US, who is funding it. 2 weeks ago, a gentleman made the statement that a Waukegan ceasefire resolution is not going to make Israel drop their arms. I agree. Israel has no intention of ending its siege, recalling their bulldozers, recalling their tanks, or ending the indiscriminate bombing campaign. But it is interesting that so many have shown up in opposition to say passing a ceasefire resolution is futile, that it's meaningless, or that it's outside of our jurisdiction. If that is the case, then they should go home. Why are they here wasting their time giving public comments on resolutions if they think they're meaningless? In fact, their presence was evidence that resolutions do matter, and that even they understand the impact of symbolic resolutions. More so, they are scared of Waukegan setting the standard for Lake County as a community not scared to speak out against anti-Palestinian hate, against Islamophobia, while intelligent enough to know that anti-Zionism is not anti-Semitism. We are intelligent enough to know that it's not the Palestinians who are promoting anti-Semitism, but the state of Israel when they commit genocide and ethnic cleansing in the name of the Jewish people and with the Star of David on their tanks. Under their definition, many anti-Zionist Jews like Albert Einstein, Hannah Arendt, Norman Finkelstein, Ilan Pape, Noam Chomsky, Gabor Mate would all be considered anti-Semitic just because of their criticism of Israel.
Thank
Vote yes
you.
on this
I'm going to
resolution.
call the
Free
next
Palestine.
5. If you can line up. Clyde McLemore, Rayon Edwards, Jim Damiano, Elizabeth Morero, Willie Molan. Again, the next 5, if you can line up. Clyde McLemore, Rayon Edwards, Jim Damiano, Elizabeth Morero, and Willie Molan.
Clyde McLemore, Executive Director for Black Lives Matter. I want this mayor and this council to offer a resolution to the ceasefire for the Israel and Palestinian conflict. America makes so much money on wars. I stand with the ceasefire and the hostages to be returned to their families. This conflict goes back centuries. For this council to offer a resolution, it says you're standing behind your neighbors. Chicago has offered the resolution, so why can't Waukegan follow? These are our neighbors, business owners who are asking for help. Black Lives Matter has no stake in this, but we stand against injustice. A resolution from Waukegan is a piece of paper that probably won't even get far. But what this council would be doing is showing their neighbors that you care and that you are concerned and that you stand against injustice. All over the country, all over the news, you see these youth are having sit-ins and protests and asking America to stop supporting this conflict. Mayor, what you did at the last council meeting was unethical, and you're doing it again tonight. Every citizen should have a right to speak. For you allowing 45 minutes show up, that ain't really, you really don't give a damn. If you have to stay until 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, that's what you have to do. But the citizens should get a chance to speak. Congress don't end until 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. You are the second worst mayor in the country after Tiffany Harvard of Dalton. What makes it so bad, this council don't know Robin Rules of Order to stop allowing you to make stupid judgments. When this council does not allow the citizens to speak, the citizens of the city to speak, you are wrong, unethical, and just a bunch of dummies. As the executive director of Black Lives Matter, I end with the words of Dr. King. Injustice anywhere is justice to us all. And if y'all just gave a bird watching a resolution, you mean to tell me y'all can't save human life?
Thank you.
Well, Ann, you done it again. Done it again. You know, I'm going to say to the Palestine community, because they ain't going to say it to y'all, the reason why they won't pass some orders. It's election year. Everybody got the pussyfoot. Everybody. It's election year. But we take care of dogs. Did y'all read the newspaper? Because homeless is up, ridiculous. And we just spent all that money on some animals. And we're talking about human life here, right? The Latinos don't care, y'all. They don't even push this city council to put things in Spanish for their own community. But every time you turn around with their 3 minutes, they want a grandstand. Well, Ann, let me tell you some grandstanding. You brought Pastor Robeson here, and God knows I support him and appreciate everything that he do. You courting the black vote, honey. It don't work. You don't care about that black church. Before you came there, you ain't never went over there. But it's real funny to me that you can make it there Saturday night, but the most important people of our city, our kids, graduated Friday, and you couldn't even show up. You are disgusting. And I don't care about no trip or nothing, because every year there's a graduation, and we know that. And we should keep a track of that. I've been saying to you councils for a long time, this district is in your city. The kids that go to that school is your constituents. If you don't care, who gonna care? These people asking for an ordinance. How hard is that? How hard is it? We work hard for a dog place, y'all. And I don't like dogs. I can't stand them. I can't. Neil, I'm so thankful that you gave up here and gave some numbers. But we keep talking about the incident that happened over there, downtown. Still ain't nobody apologized to me, because 911 didn't answer. Several times. I even called you in chief. Nobody answered. So what good is the police, Ann? You talk about and you touting all these numbers. This young lady got up and talked about all of these parking fines. So now we know why we got a balanced budget, as you say. You are tearing this city up with these ridiculous fines. Who needs space at 2 o'clock in the morning? You mean to tell me your officers ain't got nothing to do but ride to go do that? My kids are still dying. Homeless is at an all-time high. Shooting is every day in the city. Car theft is every day in the city. But y'all want to do something political with Keith Turner. That's why you had the news here. But guess what? I caught him downstairs and I talked to him and told him the truth. You disgust me. I sure talked to him.
Thank you. Jim Damiano.
Jim Damiano, 129 North Genesee, Horse Feathers. This pales kind of 100% what you're saying there. But this has to do with one of you who did something heinous this week. And I don't want this getting lost, because these are important issues, but this one I don't want to get swept under the carpet. One of you posted a photograph on social media of a young lady's arm that was found on the Waukegan beach. This was somebody's daughter, child, friend. You thought that was okay? What is wrong with you people? Is there no, this goes actually to a similar point about empathy. Being a human being, how could you do that? How could you do that? And then not say anything about it after you were called on the carpet about this. You had 3 days to say, I effed up. Bad decision, sorry. Sorry. But you didn't. You're not all blameless in this. I haven't seen any of you stand up and say this was wrong. Her arm. And how the hell did somebody get that photograph? Chief, where you at? I was on the beach that night, by the way. Wondered why I got scuttled off the beach so fast. Damn arm was found on the beach of a young lady that it is believed was murdered up in Milwaukee. What's wrong with you people? And these other issues that are being brought up are just as important. It is about humanity. It's about caring about the people on the street, literally on the street. But y'all got your personal agendas. I mean, I'm done.
Elizabeth Marrero.
Good evening. My name is Elizabeth Marrero, and I'm here to speak on behalf of myself and my colleagues, which I'm going to introduce them. And this is Eduardo Celis and Jesus Uribe. We are the board of directors of a new not-for-profit we created last year named Juntos, which in Spanish it means together. We are the coordinators of this year parade named Viva la Independencia, which is scheduled on Sunday, September 15, 2024, which starts at 12. Over on Washington Street towards downtown Waukegan. Historically, this parade has been the largest parade in Waukegan, and the purpose of the parade is to celebrate our culture, tradition of the Latino community, as well as the Mexican and some Latin Americans, Independence Day countries. But also, it is the start of the Hispanic Heritage Month, so we're here to invite everybody and the community. Whoever wants to participate, the registration is now open. You can find us on our website, which is www.juntos.nfp.com, or you can look it up on Facebook under Juntos. If you guys have any questions, we're here to answer. Please reach out to us. We're pretty open, so we hope to have a very well-organized parade this year and a very fun parade. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Pastor Willie Moulton from Christian Faith Fellowship Church in Waukegan. And I want first of all to come just to thank the mayor and everybody here and all the council for allowing us to be on the gospel on the beach in July of the day. And I just wanted to just say, we just need peace and we just need love in our community. And even if we're doing all this that we're saying, we need help in our own community. We need our people saved and healed. And if we can make a commission all the way out for something else, we need to do it for our own city. Everybody needs the same thing. And if we can help do that, we can pass something here. I'm just saying, whatever we need, we can come together. We can't fight the council. We can't fight people. We got to come together for what we need to do. But if we can do it in the country, we need to be able to do it in this city. Because we need to, I had someone get shot and things happen. And if we can put attention into that, let's put attention into our city. Because we need peace in our city and love in our city. And we need compassion and we need everybody. But there's some things that, like I was saying, that if we're going to do that, let's get our community first. We need to do that. And then for this city, this council, and what you do, like I said, I didn't come here to knock anybody or bash anybody. But if we can just come together, because like I said, I've seen some things happen, and my church is right here, 228 North County Street, and I want peace in Waukegan, and we need to come together. We can't fight each other. We can't come against each other. We got to come together. And when we get the peace of God in our community, we'll get love for each other. And I can't say what's going to happen anywhere else or what's going to happen with the war and all this stuff going on. Whatever the city chooses to do, we just need each other to do it together. And that's just my prayer, that we have peace and there's no more killings, no more murders, no more stuff happening in our community to each other. Let's come together first here, and then we can solve what's happening somewhere else. That's all I want to say.
Thank you. The last two, Frank Pettis and Margaret Carrasco. Frank and Margaret Carrasco. Frank Pettis and Margaret Carrasco, please. You can start.
Okay. So my name is Frank Pettis. I'm a Waukeganite, born and raised here. And I'm here primarily to speak in support of a ceasefire. I was here 2 weeks ago speaking for the same thing. I just had surgery on my face, right? I got some cysts removed. Thankfully, they weren't cancerous. I've had surgery on my face, stitches on my face a lot. But this was the most painful time. I wasn't thinking about my own pain. I couldn't feel shit. I had anesthesia, right? But the young people in Gaza, getting their arms cut off, their legs cut off, no anesthesia, right? No anesthesia. And that's our doing, okay? $1,112,187 was how much money that we sent for weapons in Israel last year. The average Waukeganite sent $25, right? I like to keep my money in my pocket to fund Israel's weapons. That's over $1 million, right? That's 132 households with public housing for a year. That's 386 children receiving free or low-cost health care in our community. That is 12 elementary school teachers. I know we got a teacher crisis, right? And this is happening at the same time when the homelessness rate in Lake County is the highest it's ever been. It's doubled in the past year. The rate of of families that are experiencing homelessness up 75% from the last year. What are we spending our money on, right? It might be symbolic, but it's the right kind of symbolism. It's the kind that our city needs, man. I got a little bit of time left, and I'm gonna read from this book. It's called Columbus and Other Cannibals. Self-explanatory. It's by an indigenous scholar, somebody whose people were almost wiped out by a similar genocide. He writes, "I will argue that the sane, mentally healthy human beings continue to follow the principle of love of their fellow living kind, while exploiters are insane, that is, mentally ill persons. In short, the Creator has given us good paths to follow, based upon good speech, love, and sacred songs. The mentally well person is the one who is still on such a path. The norm for humanity is love. We are not sinners by nature. We learn to be bad. We are taught to stray from our good paths. We are made to be crazy by other people who are also crazy and who draw for us a map of the world which is ugly, negative, fearful, and crazy. That's not us. That's not us. Let's live in a different way. Pass the ceasefire resolution. Let's get it. Thank you.
Thank you. Margaret Carrasco.
Soy Margaret Carrasco y exijo una persona profesional a ser intérprete para mí hoy.
What did you just say? She wants an interpreter, a professional interpreter for her to translate everything that she says to the council.
Do we have one?
¿Alguien? La ciudad de Waukegan, bajo la ley, requiere que tenga.
Under the law?
Requiere que en cada junta tenga un intérprete contratado.
That face to face you have an interpreter.
Voy a comenzar.
I will commence.
Primero, quiero aplaudir y reconocer los 150 palestinos presentes hoy, la semana pasada.
First, I want to recognize the 150 Palestinians that came here that represented themselves.
Son parte de Waukegan y sigue viniendo.
You are a part of Waukegan and keep on coming.
Hoy quiero invitar toda la comunidad
I want to invite a whole community
a la próxima junta,
to the next council meeting
junta de la comunidad,
of the community.
Jueves, el 6 de junio a las 6 de la tarde.
Thursday at 6 p.m.
Pero esta vez los invitados,
But this time, the invitees,
que la comunidad quiere hacer preguntas,
if the community wants to make questions,
son los 3 concejales latinos.
is to be to the 3 council members, the Latin council members.
Segundo, concejal Guzmán.
Second councilman Guzman.
El tercero, Juan Martínez.
Third, Juan Martinez.
Y el cuarto, Victor Felix.
And the 4th, Victor Felix.
Señor Guzmán,
Mr. Guzman.
Los residentes te llaman y no contestas,
The residents call you and you never answer.
ni regresas las llamadas.
You never respond back. You never call them back.
Yo te he mandado emails
I've sent you emails.
y nunca respondas, se regresan.
You never respond. You always return the emails blank.
El tercer concejal, Martínez.
Third Council, Martinez.
Este fin de semana había 100 gangueros en el estacionamiento por la Grand, poniendo en peligro todos los residentes. Había como 100 policías hasta estatal allí. ¿Dónde está nuestra seguridad?
This past weekend, there was 100 gang members on Grand Avenue, and while there was 100 police officers over here, where is our security? Where is our well-being?
¿Qué estás haciendo
What are you doing
para
to
prevenir
protect,
eso?
to
Protegernos.
protect and to prevent those situations?
Y al último,
And last,
fiestas patrias
the patriotic festivals
de México, Honduras y Belice y muchos países.
from Mexico, Honduras, Belize, and other countries.
Ya estamos arrancando las celebraciones
We're already taking off with the celebrations
de nuestra cultura
out of our culture
y tradiciones.
and traditions.
Igual como nuestros eventos de 5 de mayo,
Like our events of the 5th of May,
que tuvimos un super éxito.
un super éxito, super.
Thank you, Mayor. That concludes the audience time.
It's not 3 minutes, okay? Y invito a todos los niños que quieren montar caballo.
I invite all the children that want to go on ponies.
Los estamos entrenando para el desfile.
We're training them for the parade.
And we want to bring our horses to the African American community.
Are now
Call
going
me.
to take a
Thank
10-minute break.
Hi, how you doing? Hi, how are you?
Set it up.
Yes, definitely send that to you.
Do you want to have a meeting sometime with some people in Andrews to see if we could look up and stuff? No, we're separate. I'm with LA, Brazil, but
I really appreciate just the way you guys present yourself.
Do you know if any of them are gonna bring it up tonight?
They don't tell me what they're gonna do. As you can probably see at most meetings, I'm often surprised at what they do. So.
I believe so. Does anybody let me just speak to Felix. Let's talk to him. Because if they bring it up for the agenda, there's no fair break it while they're doing it. If one of them brings it up, it's actually, let's see if you would want to.
Just 45 minutes. See, that's like basic questions, you know. I feel like you wouldn't be able to do it.
Maybe with like for example,
Reverend.
Congrats, you got like.
I did, I got it promoted. Yeah, I was clergy, and I was on leave, and I was doing a side gig, and now I'm back in the big scene.
Gotcha. Great job.
So it's totally different. So, yeah, you're talking like big pharmaceutical money. Like
Where is it?
Libertyville?
Oh, I live there, and yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Like they try to sound humble by saying, oh, but we're not as rich as like Florida.
No, I look at the numbers, they're very rich.
Yeah, I mean, I love you, but like,
Yeah, they're
it's hard.
super
It's
rich.
hard to, yeah, so I got paycheck for the I should not say that.
Now you gotta live.
We need benefits.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
So, yeah.
I emailed the board and asked them if they have put their agenda together for next week for Libertyville, so I gave them a week. We'll see what they say. I honestly, I don't know if they're gonna do it, but I think we should try.
Yeah.
8 o'clock next Tuesday.
8 o'clock next Tuesday, Libertyville?
Yes. I'm waiting to post it to see if they're actually going to put it on the agenda because I want to phrase it, you know, like they should or they did, you know what I mean? So.
Okay. I know. Do you want my number?
Yeah, sure. I know you talk to Jess. Jess is my
Right?
coworker.
Oh, okay. I was
I can give you
like,
mine.
just keep letting me know, and I'll keep
No,
showing
that
up.
was perfect, because I was thinking that too. I wanted to
Then
know
it's
the
just
whole
like
time.
planning
I didn't have anything. I was hoping people would chat with me.
That's great. That's perfect. 414?
I just wanted to go, I wanted to put the first hammer down and then say that. But,
And I also took videos, so if you want your video,
No, I don't want to. You can do whatever you want with it. I don't need to see it.
I'm the same way. I can't. And your name is Katie. Katie, okay. Great to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Remind me of your name.
Sierra.
Thank you, Sierra.
Cool. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Have a good night.
You too. Bye.
well, not until the fire ceased.
And some other speakers.
Notice how the news cameras packed up right away?
Oh, I didn't hear the birds. So, like, I love birds, but...
Yeah, that's the next meeting was like, man, you know, it seems good, but everything seems so trivial in this context, you know? It's like, dude, the birds are cool. Well, I also thought it's interesting, every time I've been here, almost every time, they have a whole section roped off for some organization so that people can't sit down.
I waited in the back. I mean, like, whatever, the birds are cool.
You'll migrate into your seat, they'll migrate out.
Did they ask all the birds?
I don't think I want to say this.
Not after last time.
Cool. Yeah, you know, that's what I'm saying. We can even look it up online what they say. Because that's the only thing I want to know is like whether like any of them. Because that what guy was saying, you could say it in your Aldermanic
I like that you were like, it was like, you need to look your mind.
Oh yeah. We used to try to like alternate within the group of having somebody watch every single one on YouTube.
it's like, man, you gotta look them in the eye.
There was one person that was like gone a lot at the end. All their prisoners.
Oh, you're in Florida?
She was just out of the chair.
Jess says that she can hear us talking on the YouTube platform. I think it's over here. Hi, Jess. Well, I've always hated my voice. Like, whenever I hear me talking, singing, I'm okay, but when I hear me talking,
I can't even sing. Nobody wants to hear me sing. Oh yeah, the teacher.
I didn't get to go to that one. My car broke down right there. But Julian, we broke down in Skokie with Julian. Julian went to the thing and picked us up and goes back.
Damn.
Skokie was packed up with his army.
Oh my God, really?
I think they did. One guy was another professor in Northwestern, and he spoke for some of the students too.
Is it a big guy with bald?
But they did have their people come, but it was overwhelmingly.
Yeah, there was so much going on, it was hard to make it.
That was the problem.
What, so did they do anything, or like pass something, or fire her or whatever?
I don't think they can right now. Like, this was just like infotainment. Because they had to like start a special thing to say that she's not doing her duties.
Okay.
But they, on their school board, their responsibilities, they have that explicitly that you can do whatever you want politically, as long as it's not on compensated time. So they can't really say she wasn't.
Right.
So who knows? Maybe they'll try to bend
They're
it.
just trying to make her miserable, though.
Right, they're just trying to bully her.
That's terrible. Are they gonna have another meeting?
I think they have a meeting every month, and I don't know if they're going to be back again.
I wonder if she needs support.
And then we're going to write a news article about it.
You know how we have those lists of like the names of everybody who goes to Gaza? Is if we could all, like in order, and just like when you finish your 3 minutes, say what number you're on and have the next person pick it up. Because I'm like, we said everything at this time.
You said a lot of stuff. Also, I see you popped up on my Facebook suggested people, and we have mutual friends. Oh, cool. I feel like, I can't remember exactly, it was like Jessica Bunn or something, I don't remember.
Oh, just, that's Jessica.
Yeah.
You know her? Like,
Yeah, no, we went to college. We both went to UIC.
oh, you went to college.
Sorry, yeah. Oh, dang, you go way more back. No, just college. Which at this point is kind of a while ago.
Me too, I didn't realize how long ago it was.
Yeah.
Until I went to those student campus, I'm like,
Yeah,
oh
no,
my
they all look
God.
so young.
Was that a Logan?
I know, I just got, every week I'm doing a little shorter, and I feel too young.
I was like, maybe you look like 10 years younger.
Oh my God. Did you cut your beard? Is that
Yeah,
what's
just
going
a
on? I was
little
like,
bit.
something's
I
different.
put it down to an inch, and then a week later I did a half inch. Next I'll do a quarter inch, and watch how
I was like, did you take your mask off?
I did also.
Okay.
No, really, like it's a really weak prescription.
I didn't notice you.
But I have astigmatism, so at night.
But I have a strong prescription, so I'm legally obligated to wear contacts and glasses.
Yeah, like this will be like an almost like a big thing you get away with not wearing them. But in the winter, I was working at 7, drive leaving at like 6, so the sun wasn't up at 10.
I get so nervous when it's raining and then the lights and then my astigmatism. I'm like, oh, I hope we get home.
I'd like to call the aldermen back to their positions.
Jason's going, Brandon's going. You got people.
Oh, yes.
Okay, we're going to go ahead with the rest of our meeting. Do we have all the aldermen back? No, we're missing Alderman Felix. Alderman Felix, can I have you back on the dais, please? Okay, for the consent agenda, can I have a first and a second to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Alderman Newsom first, a
Second.
second. Alderman Martinez. Okay, items A through F, I will read them quickly.
Can we dispense with reading since it's already written?
What are we going to pull
You
out?
still need to read them.
This is just reading the item.
Yeah.
Got it, thank you.
Item A, a motion to approve the regular meeting minutes from Monday, May 6, 2024. Item B, an ordinance approving zoning calendar 2745, a map amendment from R5, limited general residence to B5, Central Service District for 414 North Sheridan Road. Item C, an ordinance approving the zoning calendar 2746, a conditional use permit for a funeral home with a cremation retort at 414 North Sheridan Road. Item D, a motion to approve vendor payments dated May 20th, 2024, in an amount of $4,747,606.45. Item E, a motion to approve and ratify regular payroll dated May 17th, 2024, in a total amount of $1,976,895.93. Item F, a motion to approve and ratify miscellaneous payroll dated May 17th, 2024, in a total amount of $167,211.94. Any questions to the motions? Roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
Alderman Guzman,
Aye.
Martinez,
Aye.
Felix,
Aye.
Newsom,
Aye.
Turner,
Aye.
Donnerworth,
Aye.
Florian,
Aye.
Hayes.
Aye.
Okay. There being no reports and communication, old business, an ordinance approving the fiscal year 24-25 salary ordinance for the mayor, city clerk, and treasurer. Any questions to the motion?
Mayor, if we could, given Alderwoman Bolton's absence, I'd like to hold this over until the next meeting.
Okay. That was a second by Alderman Turner, was that? Okay.
Yeah. I believe that this has already appeared once on the agenda, so it can't be held over, but by unanimous consent, you could agree, you could do a motion to postpone and sorry to be pedantic about it.
I think it was amended. If it's amended, can we hold it over? Because I think it was amended to change the mayor's
Yeah, it was
salary.
amended to add the
So I think you
salary.
can hold it over if it's been amended.
It's opening up a can of worms.
put you on the
That
spot,
means
didn't I?
every time that you amend something,
Yeah.
that
But-
means that it could be held over.
That's
I
fair.
would highly recommend
All right.
that we not set a precedent that every time an ordinance is tweaked, it can be then held over automatically. I think if you feel like you have if you have the backing for this, to have a full complement of aldermen, then maybe you should do a motion to postpone.
Then,
Postpone to.
just till the next meeting. I think we should have all the aldermen here if we're going to vote on the clerk and mayor's salaries. If everybody's on board, we can take it up at the next meeting.
Yeah.
So that's my first.
That's a motion. That's a first.
Second.
Okay. The motion is to postpone consideration of this ordinance, which would set the salaries for all citywide elected officials 2 weeks until, what is that, June 3rd?
I'm sorry, who was the first one?
The first,
June 3rd.
To postpone?
the first was Hayes. The
Yes.
second was Alderman Newsom.
Newsom.
I said citywide. I'm sorry, I refer to it, just for clarity's sake, I refer to it as citywide elected officials.
June 3rd.
Okay, so we have a first and a second on that. Is that a voice consent then?
You might as well just do a roll call.
Okay.
Alderman Guzman,
Aye.
Martinez,
Aye.
Felix,
Aye.
Newsom,
Aye.
Turner,
Aye.
Donnerworth,
Aye.
Florian,
Aye.
Hayes.
Aye. Thanks, everyone.
Okay. Under new business, is there anything, should I omnibus this, or is there anything you want to pull out?
Pull out,
Should omnibus it for sure.
pull out B, C, and D.
Okay.
I have a first to omnibus. I need a motion for an
Wait.
omnibus, and that was
Florian
Alderman
first.
Florian.
Well, I'd
And who-
like to pull out some too also, please.
Okay, first, can I get a second on the motion for omnibus?
Second.
Okay, Newsom was a second. So we will, what else would you like to pull out, Alderman Turner?
I'd like to pull out item T is in Turner. Item Z is in Zulu, and item Alpha Alpha AA. T, Z, and AA.
Okay. So the omnibus will include items A, E, F, G, H through S, U, W, X, Y, Z, BB, and CC.
We can't do B in the omnibus.
Pull Z out.
B is in boy, I'm saying.
Wait a minute, we can't do.
Can't, doesn't Alderman Guzman have to recuse for that?
No longer.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I'll get to that when we get to liquor.
Okay, so what was the other one? Z, did you say? Was it Z?
T, Z, and AA.
Okay. T. Okay,
And then Alderman Newsom said B, C, and D.
right, okay. So, can I have a roll call for the motion for the omnibus
I'll make
with those exceptions? Yes, we had a first and a second on that. So with the exceptions that we pulled out, we're doing a roll call on the omnibus motion.
Alderman Guzman,
Aye.
Martinez,
Aye.
Felix,
Aye.
Newsom,
Aye.
Turner,
Aye.
Donnerworth,
Aye.
Florian,
Aye.
Hayes.
Aye.
Okay. Item A, an ordinance amending the Waukegan Code of Ordinances to prohibit. Yeah, I'm reading A. An ordinance amending the Waukegan Code of Ordinances to prohibit the sale of illicit THC products and Cramtom. Is that how you say it? Crateman. And this matter was heard in the Committee of the Whole in May 6th. Item E, a resolution approving the utilization of Dukes for the route control services for the amount not to exceed $30,000. Item F, a resolution approving spending authority in excess of $25,000 per section 2-458 with the Campanella and Sons for an anticipated amount of $200,000 for sewer repairs and improvements. Item G, a resolution approving the award of materials bid to Kinchhofer Truck Service per Section 2-458 through Lake County, Illinois, for a not-to-exceed amount of $60,000. Item H, a resolution renewing the agreement with Dell Marketing LP and Microsoft Corporation. Item I, a resolution authorizing the expenditure of funds on professional services from Icon Enterprises for website hosting. Item J, a resolution approving the procurement of cybernetics for ISAN data storage equipment upgrade and annual maintenance services. Item K, a resolution authorizing the expenditure of funds on the purchase of computer security equipment and services from SHI International Corporation. Item L, a resolution waiving competitive bidding and approving the procurement of data backup software services from Fortress Data Management. Item M, a resolution authorizing the expenditure of funds on the procurement of computers and other IT equipment from CDW Government for fiscal year 2025. Item N, a resolution authorizing the expenditure of funds on the purchase of computers and IT equipment from GHA Technologies, Inc. Item O, a resolution waiving competitive bidding and approving the procurement of video surveillance equipment and related installation and maintenance services from Pentagra Systems LLC, or Pentra. Item P, a resolution approving the procurement of OpenGov permitting and licensing cloud solution from Carasoft Technology Corporation for the use of, by the Engineering Department. Item Q, a resolution waiving competitive bidding and approving the procurement of indexing, archive, and retrieval infrastructure services from Microsoft Systems, Inc. Item R, a resolution authorizing the expenditure of funds for professional services from DSN Group for fiscal year 2025. Item S, a resolution approving a settlement and release of all claims for Fire Department Workmen's Compensation Claim 200923W013 for an amount not to exceed $87,173. Item U, a resolution approving the procurement of medical equipment and supplies from Boundtree Medical LLC. Item V, a resolution approving the procurement of emergency medical technician training services from College of Lake County. Item W, a resolution approving the procurement of personal protective equipment from W.S. Darley and Company. Item X, a resolution approving an agreement with Avalon Petroleum and Fire Department Fuel. Item Y, a resolution approving an agreement with Cintas for Fire Department uniforms. Item BB, a resolution approving an agreement with B&B Technologies for software integration services. Item CC, a solution authorizing the expenditure of funds on the purchase of computers and other IT equipment from Amazon.com Business Prime. Any questions to those motions? Roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
Alderman Guzman.
Aye.
Alderman Martinez.
Aye.
Felix.
Aye.
Newsome.
Aye.
Turner.
Aye.
Donnerworth.
Aye.
Florian.
Aye.
Hayes.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Item B, I need a first and a second to hear it, and then we'll do questions.
I'll make the first.
Alderman Turner first, second.
Second.
Alderman Donnerworth. This is an ordinance amending the Waukegan Code of Ordinances to reduce the distance requirement for liquor licenses. Questions or discussion on this? Who wanted it pulled out? Oh, okay. Okay. Roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
I'm just going to say one procedural note. Previously, Alderman Guzman would recuse himself during liquor license matters. Alderman Guzman is no longer associated, his business no longer has a liquor license with the city, and so he has no conflict and is able to vote.
Roll call, please.
Alderman Guzman.
Aye.
Martinez.
Aye.
Felix.
Aye.
Newsome.
Nay.
Turner.
Aye.
Donnerworth.
Aye.
Florian.
Aye.
Hayes.
Aye.
Thank you,
Motion
Madam Clerk.
passes.
Item C, can I have a first and a second on the motion?
I'll make the first.
Alderman Turner, second.
Second.
Who was second? I'm sorry.
Hayes,
Okay.
sorry.
An ordinance creating a Class F beer and wine liquor license for Indus USA, Inc., running as Waukegan Fruit Market, located at 951 South Lewis Avenue. Any questions to the motion?
I do.
Yeah.
Can you guys step up to the mic, please? I'm going to push it through, but I just want to say a few things before I push it through. Okay, this is my ward, and I'm okay with you guys having it. The only problem I am having is that with grocery stores that are getting these liquor licenses, there used to be grocery store used to be like 70-80%. And then their takeout food used to be like 20%. After they're giving a liquor license, now their grocery store no longer seems like they're a grocery store. Now they seem like they're more of a liquor store than a grocery store. So it must be a percentage. So let's keep it low, 20%, few aisles. That's about it. I don't want you guys becoming a liquor store and having groceries inside it. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So it has to be a small percentage, not a large percentage.
We have only 5 to 10%.
That sounds great to me, buddy.
That's what we have.
Thank you. Because
I mean, I've went to a couple places, and these grocery stores resemble more liquor stores than actual grocery stores. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a question here. So are you guys selling it just beer and wine, or also the hard liquor also?
No hard
Just
liquor.
beer and wine.
So beer and wine?
Just beer.
Okay. Thank you.
So,
Okay, no further questions. Roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
Alderman Guzman,
Aye.
Martinez,
Aye.
Felix,
aye.
Newsome,
Nay.
Turner,
Aye.
Donnerworth,
Aye.
Florian,
Aye.
Hayes.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Item D, can I have a first and a second?
I'll make the first.
Alderman
Second.
Second is Alderman Martinez. This is an ordinance creating a Class B fraternity, society, or club liquor license for Waukegan Yacht Club located at 199 North Harbor Place. Any questions to the motion? You have her here. You can ask your questions.
I guess I will. Congratulations on coming back. It's truly missed. Should have never left. 100 years, almost 100 years. Very, very long time. Very progressive part of the city. Youth conservative. I mean, you guys work, I mean, around everything. Big part of the community. I was sad to see it go. I'm very, very, very happy to come back. So my vote is definitely yes answer.
Thank you. My name is Nikki Sullivan. I am the Commodore of the Waukegan Yacht Club, and we are excited about embracing the community again.
Is the restaurant and bar going to be open to the public or just the club members?
We are limited under the 501c7 nonprofit social organization. It's a sporting organization to have only 15% of our benefit or our revenue and support coming from the public. So therefore, what we do in order to address that, we have to keep track of all use of everything that is sold within the organization, because members need to be supporting the organization, not the public, right? And so we will be open for more family hours for the public, so beginning with Sunday brunch, and then our first lunch time being open back with the public will begin on Fridays, and then as soon as we can staff up, we'll bring in Thursdays, and as soon as we can staff up, we'll move to Wednesdays as well. We understand that that is a desired element within the community, and I have been mentoring the leadership of the club and the new generation to understand that if we want to find all of the boaters that are the future of our harbor and using Lake Michigan in a safe way, we got to let them in.
I encourage you to advertise it, to promote, excuse me, promote your lunchtime and whatever other for the public.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you.
When's your first brunch?
We're waiting for this in order to make sure that and it's a strange thing because we're, the percentage over the history, learning a lot about the history of liquor sales in comparison to everything else within the activities is very small, but it is a requirement for entry for many of the folks that attend, regardless of how much they purchase. Thank you.
Roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
Alderman Guzman,
Definitely aye.
Martinez,
Aye.
Felix,
Aye.
Newsome,
Nay.
Turner,
Aye.
Donnerworth,
Aye.
Florian,
Aye.
Hayes.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Clerk. Next is item T.
Yep. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
I need a first and a second first, and then we can do discussion.
First, Lynn Florian.
Second,
Second.
Alderman Martinez. And I'll read it, and then we'll do discussion. A memorandum of agreement for the management of the EPA Climate Pollution Reduction Grant Award. Okay, Alderman Turner.
What is the agreement? What are we agreeing to? What are we going to do?
Okay. I've got
Good evening. This grant requires a memorandum of agreement because it's a coalition of cities and counties led by Kane County. The funder encouraged governments to join together and form coalitions to apply because the maximums for this grant are so significant, individual communities would not be competitive. So Kane County jumped in early in this process and invited all of the communities and counties in the Chicago region outside of Cook to join their coalition. My team participated in several meetings with them and decided it was a good way to go, that we wouldn't have an opportunity to compete for this grant if we didn't join the coalition. So joining the coalition put us in a better position. So Waukegan's portion for this grant is $6 million is the application. Hopefully we get funded. We don't know yet, but part of that is signing this memorandum of agreement that we're in partnership, and I will defer to our attorney.
I can just summarize it really quickly. So, Noel, we're getting, how much is the city getting?
Our application amount is, I know it's on here.
I think it's like 6.4 million?
Yes, just under 6.4 million.
Okay, so 6.4 million, that money will be used to purchase electric charging stations and then solar installations, which I think may be in support of the electric charging stations, although I'm not sure.
The solar installations would go on our water facilities, lift stations, and water storage tanks, and so that help reduce our costs in our water fund by providing the electricity for those facilities that are not covered under our franchise agreement.
So under the agreement, and the agreement was on board docs, that's what we're getting. In return, we have to comply basically with a raft of federal requirements for purchasing. Some of them are Buy American, some of them are non-discrimination. If you've ever done a federal grant, there's a raft of different requirements that you have to comply with to get free money from the government. And so what this agreement is basically saying is, although Waukegan is not the original grant applicant, Kane County is, we're basically, it's a pass-through agreement for all those obligations.
Call for the vote.
Alderman Florian?
So is it okay if I have a question, Alderman Turner? Yes. Oh, thank you. There's no matching dollars for this, right?
I have to concede that my staff did a great job on this, and I'm not as knowledgeable as Rachel, who you saw earlier. I don't believe that we have a match for this one.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions to the motion? Roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
Alderman Guzman,
Aye.
Martinez,
Aye.
Felix,
Aye.
Newsome,
Aye.
Turner,
Aye.
Donnerworth,
Aye.
Florian,
Aye.
Hayes.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Item Z, can I have a first and a second to the motion?
So move.
Alderman Newsome, a second.
Second, Alderman Florian.
Alderman Florian. And this is an ordinance amending the Waukegan Code of Ordinance to adjust fees for services provided at city-owned cemeteries. Alderman Turner, you had a question to the motion?
Yes, ma'am. What is the adjustment? You're going to do it up or down?
Your documentation. And what this is we are actually losing money right now on the cemetery. It costs us more in staff time than what we are doing in terms of dollars that we are bringing in. So we looked at other communities, the city clerk did this, looked at other communities, and this is what is in comparison, so we went with what other communities were doing.
Mayor, would you like me to do a quick summary without reading every line item?
Sure.
So basically, for the fees, and there are different fees for reserving a grave plot, for interment, for disinterment, which would be removing a body. All these fees were set, I believe, a number of decades ago. In many cases, these fees are being doubled. They're being doubled to match the nearby public cemeteries. They're not. We did not look at private cemeteries. So this is looking at publicly managed cemeteries in Zion, Libertyville, and Gurney, I believe. So just to give an example. A plot space is being increased from $875 to $4,000 in Oakwood Cemetery. The perpetual care endowments, which are basically the money that is put in to ensure that the cemeteries have a stash of money that can be used to for maintenance are being doubled. And the key to all these is that they reflect the increased cost of labor. That labor comes from our Public Works Department, labor and equipment, which is often getting an excavator out there. And so that's the summary of it. And it is all the increases are attached as an exhibit to the draft ordinance on board docs.
Thank you. Call for the vote, please.
Okay, roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
Alderman Guzman,
Aye.
Martinez,
Aye.
Felix,
Aye.
Newsome,
Aye.
Turner,
Aye.
Donnerworth,
Aye.
Florian,
Aye.
Hayes.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Mayor, may I interrupt? I'm sorry. May I make a correction on my last statement? I misspoke. There is a 20% match on that grant. And that would come out of future budget years, not the current year. Thank you, and I apologize.
Thank you. Item AA, can I have a first and a second to it? I need a
So
first and,
moved.
Second.
okay, Alderman, was it Alderman, I'm sorry, Alderman Newsome and Alderman Hayes were the first and second. And this is a resolution approving a side letter of agreement with SEIU Local 73 regarding telecommunicator wages and hours. So this matter was heard. You've got it on your board docs. It was heard in the Finance Committee. Any questions to this?
Yes, ma'am. What is a side letter, and what's the difference between a side letter and a regular letter? What does that mean?
Because their contract had already been negotiated, so it's a side letter to increase the wages, so we are competitive now as we go forward with our own dispatch center.
Just on a technical, in a collective bargaining agreement, this is something that is agreed to by both parties. Usually it's something that was omitted or came out later. And rather than opening up contract negotiations, which can basically open up a whole basket of not worms but snakes, the parties come to a very short agreement as to a very specific isolated issue. In this case, it had to do with telecommunicator wages and hours.
All right, and what are those wages and hours? What's the specifics on that?
Mr. Perfect will give you all those as we go forward with our own dispatch. Okay.
Yeah, Edie's giving it to me here.
Oh.
Edie's provided.
Okay.
I really wanted it for the audience, but okay. Call for the vote, please. Thank you.
Okay, roll call, please, Madam Clerk. That was easy for you, Tom.
Alderman Guzman,
Aye.
New director of dispatch here.
Yeah, we introduced him before.
Well, I never met him.
You did.
Hello,
at the
I'm
last
Alderman
meeting.
Turner. Welcome aboard.
Yeah.
I'm perfect. Nice to meet you.
Okay. Alderman
I'm going to start again. Alderman Guzman,
Aye.
Martinez,
Aye.
Felix,
Aye.
Newsome,
Aye.
Turner,
Aye.
Donnerworth,
Aye.
Florian,
Aye.
Hayes.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. There being no ordinances, alderperson time.
Alderman Guzman.
Good evening, all. Okay, so we were speaking about recycling rules earlier. So so please read up the recycling rules, because if one place or two places contaminate the load, it all has to be tossed out. They don't siphon through every little piece of recycle to try to save the load. It just, you get a lot of people says, well, why am I going to recycle if they're just going to throw it back at the landfill? I seen the truck there. They do it because people have made mistakes or do it on purpose and throw their yard waste or whatever, and they want to use it as a garbage can. So once it goes into the actual vehicle, it gets contaminated, and then the whole load is contaminated, and then it gets tossed out. So let's keep an eye on that, because those are going to be more highly enforced. And then if you keep violating that, the recycle can will be taken away from you. Okay? Secondly, As the mayor said, I'm advocating the demolition permits about what happened right there at the old St. Therese Hospital. We're actually going to go a little stricter than what the state and federal laws are. So it'll be coming into the community whole pretty soon, but we are working on it with the whole asbestos contamination with, well, I guess everybody has read about it, so we're going to go a little further than that. Second, I want to talk about alternative parking. It's overnight parking, but it is up till noon. The reason why it was made up that way is because of the street sweeping and to move cars around so they can get through the neighborhoods to prevent flooding. I understand it needs a little tweaking because, I mean, like the lady came to the podium, says she's received three citations. I've heard other residents say the same thing. I do agree with the overnight, but there has to be a fix about during the day because some people are early risers. They go to a grocery store, have breakfast, whatever they do in the morning, go to yoga, whatever they do, and then they come back and then just park their car wherever. And then they receive a citation for that. So that's a little difficult, and I don't agree with that. So I'm going to put a motion in to look into trying to fix this alternative parking. Maybe keep it till 6:30 in the morning, but I mean, I would have, obviously, I have to speak with the police and Public Works to identify how this would actually work and how to benefit the residents and keep the city clean and organized at the same time, and the police department doing their job. So that's what I like to do, is try to fix.
Why don't you submit 3 people on that, and we'll put it on the next agenda, but I need to have Public Works sit down. We can't make that motion tonight without consulting them on that.
Correct. That's why I said that we would sit down with police and Public Works to try to come up with a compromise of how to fix this, because I understand the whole thing.
I just out of curiosity, Noel, is that covered in the UDO?
I apologize, I was doing other work.
No problem.
Sorry, Alderman.
I
Would
don't
you mind
believe
repeating?
alternative parking is in there, right?
Alternate parking is not part of the
Yeah.
Unified Development Ordinance, no.
Just wanted to double check, but off my brain, I was thinking it's not on there.
But just to clarify, it's not being eliminated by the UDO. The UDO does not deal with it. That's dealt with in a separate section of the code.
That's correct. Completely separate. Thank you.
Second.
So what I think what the mayor is saying is that for motions that require a lot of staff input, the best thing to do is to work through the legislative submission process, which is outside of a meeting, submit a legislative request with 2 supporters, schedule a meeting with the departments that can provide input, and then we can place it on an agenda.
Actually, since it's going to go to the committee of the whole, and it's going to go all the way to the bottom, and we have like, what is it, 5 before it even
We
gets
don't
there?
need to put it in the committee of the whole.
Okay.
What we need to do is have, if you guys can meet with Public Works and come up with how they think it should be drafted, we can have it on the next agenda, but that needs to be done by Friday of this week.
Okay, perfect. That works for me. We'll schedule an appointment with police and Public Works to get this done. Okay, so last couple of meetings, there's been people coming up to the podiums and discussing their what's going on in the world. Trust me, I have a heart too. I feel for everybody. You know, I think everybody to come up here who comes to this podium and comes to speak to the city council on their beliefs, on their wrongs, on their rights. And I agree. You guys, it should be peace around. I mean, you guys are the chosen people, both of you guys, from one religion to the next. We're all in the eyes of God. So let's get along and let's move forward and let's try to find a resolution to this conflict and move on from there. Thank you. Have a good night.
Alderman Martinez.
All right, thank you, Madam City Clerk and council members. First, I would like to congratulate the many students who have or have already graduated in the last days or upcoming. I give my thanks to all the parents and the educators who, through empowerment and determination and their unwavering dedication, that these students will be out. And I wish them all well, and I am excited to see what their next adventure would be in life. I also would like to talk about our Neighborhood Watch meeting that will be held on June 17th. It will be held from 6 to 7. The reason why I'm saying this is because I invite all the constituents in our ward who have called me or want information on how they can get information on creating their own Neighborhood Watch program. So I welcome everyone in the 3rd Ward, or anyone in the city for that matter, to come on out. It'll be myself and Officer Luca. We will be discussing trends. We'll be discussing ways how we can better protect our neighborhoods. We really have to get involved. The police officers cannot do it all. So I encourage all the constituents, all citizens, to come on out on June 17th. It will be at 528 Tiffany Drive. We do have a lot of time, like as I mentioned, so there will be more information coming forward. But again, that is one of my campaign promises was to get as many Neighborhood Watch streets involved in the 3rd Ward, and I do have 3, possible 4. But again, this is something that everyone's welcome, and I hope that I have a good turnout. It's only for 1 hour, so I encourage everyone to come on out and partake in that. Okay, so and then also this Friday, the 24th, we'll be having our first Clean Sweep Initiative program. These are the White Youth what is it? YCC.
CC.
Yeah, it is a non-for-profit group of youth. They will be cleaning the streets in our ward. Particular attention to Adelphi, Granville, and also Grand Avenue and Leith. I also want to thank Mr. Supervisor Ed Bambino and the dedicated youth, and the proprietor, Mr. Fernando Behema, who, after they're done doing volunteering and cleaning, they will be having lunch at the La Canoa. So I thank Mr. Bahima for giving back and sponsoring the luncheon. For those who don't know who YCC is, it is a youth consultative course. It is a non-for-profit organization committed to providing Lake County's youth people with education, certification programs, and career development. It is to build skills for life, and YCC believes that every young adult has a pathway to success. So again, I want to thank them in advance. Residents, please be assured, as the mayor indicated earlier, please make sure you cut your grass. If it is over 8 inches tall, you might get a visit from code compliance. I do understand there are certain situations that you know, that some people cannot just cut it, whether you be elderly or disabled. I do want to mention the fact that if you aren't able to cut your grass and you are over 55, that there is a program that the Waukegan Township has. It is called the Home Sweet Home Program. If you need information on that, please call 847-599-2965 to get more information, and they'll be able to assist you. Also, you know, I also want to talk about some of these businesses in our ward. Part of my routine that I do is I try to get out there early, like a Saturday morning or a Sunday morning, and there's a lot of trash, bottles, inappropriate things that you find on the parking lots there. And this is an ongoing problem, and I already kind of got information. I want to see if the council, we can do something about that, because this is really out of hand. I think that every business is responsible for their guests. So when these businesses are closing and you know they're closing, announce something to your guests. Make sure that they don't litter. And it's also your responsibility to make sure before you leave that parking lot that it is clear a mess. You know, people can't even walk it's like the other day I went to try to go through the parking lot. It was like an obstacle course. I try to avoid bottles and all that, and it's ridiculous, and it's out of hand. And in the next couple of weeks, I will be working with the city council to see if we can come up with some kind of ordinance or something to put the responsibility back on those business owners, because it shouldn't be happening. Again, you are responsible for your guests, all right? And cleanliness, if you're not going to be part of it, then, like I say, if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. So please be more responsible for all those business owners, even if you're not a business owner, even if you rent, but be more mindful of the trash that's left behind. All right. Also, let me see, that's pretty much what I have. If you need to get a hold of me, you can call me at 847-390-2689. And finally, I would just like to say that my heart goes out to the family of Sade Robinson in Milwaukee. I pray for the family, and what I can't even fathom what they're going through. And from the bottom of my heart, I pray for them, and I hope that they find the right closure that they deserve. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Alderman Felix.
Thank you. It was a long time since the last meeting, so I have a few things to say. I did attend the fundraiser for Grupo Folclórico downtown at the Genesee Theater. It was a great event, a good representation of the Hispanic culture, and the host was really nice too. I liked the way it kept people awake. It kept people involved. So I really congratulate them for a good event. The student council, I had a student council event where all the student councils from the middle schools gathered up, and they invited myself, Alderman Bolton, and Alderman Newsom, and they wanted to present to us what they're doing, and also ask us how we work. And it was great to inspire them. They got to ask us questions. And it was just a great event, knowing that there's individuals out there in elementary school, middle schools that are interested in council and how it works. So it was a great event, and I thank the individuals involved for inviting me. All the middle schools, I would love to attend again. Also, I met the student council for Miguel Juarez, which formerly known as East Middle School. I was part of East Middle School growing up, so they invited me to their yearly event, their student council party organized by Krista Sanchez. So I was very thankful they invited me. I got to talk to them, and just talk to go back to the East Middle or Miguel Juarez, and I was able to kind of get memories when I used to go there as a teenager. So thank you, Krista Sanchez, for inviting me. Thank you, Mike Morales, for representing me as well when I left, because I only went for my lunch. And I also did want to mention that we are deeply saddened by the passing of Dr. Modena Ozel Stinnett. She was a beloved member of the community whose kindness and contributions touched many lives. Our heartfelt condolences go out to her family and her friends during this difficult time. It was Mother's Day passed in the meantime as well. So this year, for the second year, I was able to feed some mothers in my ward, in the 4th ward, which was the Julian Towers or Lakeside Towers on Genesee, and also the Lilac Ledge. We got to feed total 45 mothers at the Lakeside Towers, and also 25 mothers at the Lilac Ledge. Lilac Ledge is a senior home living in my ward. And DRAC, also known as Walkside DRAC, has been feeding mothers for over 20 years, and I was glad to be part of it. One of the memories that I have from that day is when we gave the breakfast to the mother, and then we saw the little one just coming up, a little baby, barely walking, and we gave him a bag of McDonald's as well, and he was super happy. So that was so nice to see. Huge thank you for the State Representative Rita Mayfield, myself, who sponsored the cost of this meals for my ward. Huge thank you to the volunteers, the Waukegan Township trustee and school board member, Jeff McBride, Gloria, and also Mike Morales. Of course, DRAC, who organized everything. I want to say the congratulations to the students of the Waukegan High School class of 2024. It's a great achievement. Getting your high school diploma, going through high school, opens so many doors, and I can't say that it does open many doors and closes so many if you don't get some. But luckily, we have a lot of resources in that community to get your high school diploma, GED. So it's not a, there's no stop if you don't get it now. There's always hope. I went to right around the beach with Lisa May, our beach coordinator, and it was an amazing time. We have a great beach, guys. Sometimes we don't take the time to actually visit our own beach. It's an amazing place, you know. So I invite everyone to go to our beach, enjoy our own beach here instead of going out. Come, you know. There's a lot to see, a good time, just relax in our own Waukegan beach. You'd be surprised how relaxing it can be. I also did want to ask Sergeant Greg Neal, just to, I don't know if you can come up, just ask some questions. Oh, Chief, I'm sorry, Chief.
Yes, sir.
There are illegal motor bikes that are a lot of downtown, but all over our city. Can you explain to us, is it hard to catch these the people, or how come we're not catching these people riding these illegal motorbikes?
There's many classes of the illegal motor bikes. You have the bicycles that are e-bikes. You have UTVs, ATVs, and it's quite easy to purchase one. And some people don't understand that you can't operate these electrical vehicles on our city streets or a state street, to be honest with you. It has to be private property that you have permission to utilize that type of vehicle on. So with that being said, getting a ATV, if that's what you're speaking of, to stop, we do try. And if there's a young person on it, we have to really strategize to try to figure out where that person lives, because many times they won't stop. But once we find out where they live, we speak with them, we speak with the parents, and there's still a way for us to make an impact on those ATVs that have been terrorizing some of our streets.
And how can our community be more proactive when we're seeing this? Of course, we don't want to, I understand, we don't want to hurt the young. I mean, of course, there's older adults that are also doing this, and that's a huge problem. They should know better, but how can our community be more proactive for this kind of thing?
We have to share the word of the dangers of utilizing these vehicles on streets, and the streets aren't designed for these style of vehicle. There's no safety. There's no seat belt. Motorcycles in themselves are dangerous, and to allow an ATV or even where some of the small electric motorcycle style vehicles that these kids are using is quite dangerous. And if we educate our neighbors, our friends, and our families so that they're not quick to go buy one of these, or if they do, they're prepared to find a track or something where they can utilize it and not use it on the street with other motorists who aren't prepared for that type of travel.
I think part of our job here is some people do not attend our council meetings all the time, so they don't know what the rules are. I think part of something, re-educating our community, and I thank you for that. One of the last things I did want to mention, I apologize, for the legal motorcycles that are weaving in and out, can you also just quickly let the community know how illegal that is? Instead of, they should be, you explained to me before, they should be just like a regular car, not going in and out of lanes. Can you let the community know how they should be driving when merging in?
And I can imagine the weaving in and out that you're speaking of. It's not a problem to change lanes quickly, but to change lanes and create a danger to other vehicles, not giving them enough space to react to the type of driving a motorcycle might be doing is improper, illegal. It is improper lane usage, and that's something that motorcyclists can be cited for.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And so much. One thing, there's sometimes, I want to be careful with my words. There's sometimes people coming up here that are represent communities, right? Not our recent guests, right? But just there's people they come up here and they speak for another community, And I just want to say, whether it be black, white, Hispanic, and I think this is you see it everywhere, right? Where, you people are doing good, they pull each other down. We have to be more, let's pay less attention to the negativity that's going on in terms of that can divide a community. You pay more attention to the people that are willing to work together. Because there's enough of that out in our community. Let's get the voice to the people that are actually working together and collaborating. We need them more in our community. That's just kind of something. There's that crab in the bucket, story. We can't see someone doing good and try to pull them down. Let's support people if they're doing things the right way. They're following process, and they know how to behave themselves, I guess you would say, or at least follow process the right way. I just want to make sure. Don't let other people. We need more of our community. If people are watching that are at home, we need more of you guys to come out and voice your concerns that's going on in your neighborhood. I meet with a lot of constituents. They have a lot of different worries and concerns than what you see over here. I encourage for our aldermen to go out and speak to our constituents, because what you see here, of course, I'm happy that it's a brave for a lot of you guys to come out here and speak here, but also gather up your neighbors, bring them with you. It's really good to have more people working together. Last thing, for our community of the Muslim community that is calling for the ceasefire, I thank you again. I acknowledge that you guys came here, and you guys brought up a resolution. I think that if something is in our hand, maybe we can look at it. You guys did a great job in terms of organizing in that way. But thank you guys for being here. Again, wish for peace and love for everyone, for all of our communities. And that's it for me. Thank you. Oh, actually, I apologize. One last thing. I do want to put a motion. Before I do that, Mayor, the school district, whenever they have their board meetings, whenever they have a translator, they let them speak for 6 minutes. Is that something we can make a change?
We can. So one of the things that I have prepared is a new set of public comment rules that are more clear and more updated. And we can talk about integrating that and also making sure that we're complying with accessibility requirements. And so we can look at what state law requires, and then you guys can decide whether you want to have an extended period in that case.
And again, this is for translation for all languages, right? If you come here, you don't speak the language, we want to make sure we give you proper time, because it's literally cutting it in half when you're translating for two people, for one person. So yes, if we can look at that, please. I mean, we have evidence of how another board does it, which is the school board, another huge entity. If we can do that, guys, hopefully you guys can support as well. That was it. How can we do that still? What does that look like?
Well, I'm bringing forward I'm bringing forward a new policy for public comment that would amend the current ones, and I can integrate that in when I bring it to you, which will probably be in the next few weeks.
Next few weeks, okay.
I was being careful not to try and bring a whole new policy when we had so many people here for public comment.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can bring.
Okay.
We can integrate that.
Okay. Thank you. That's it for me.
Alderman Newsome.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I just have one item. The YCC youth will also be cleaning, Operation Clean Sweep in the 5th Ward this year. They will be in the alleys on May 31st. That's a Friday, May 31st, 2024. My alleys are mainly east of Lewis Avenue. So if you see any youth in the alleys, I know that some cars go through there. Be watchful of them. And I appreciate Mr. Eddie from City Yards working to help get this set up for each and every one of us in our wards, Mr. Chris, and also Mr. that is over the youth at YCC. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Alderman Turner?
Thank you very much. I have several items I want to talk about, and I will try to be brief and quick, expeditiously. So number one, we're cutting grass, and I want to remind people that you please do not put your grass clippings out into the street and gutter. That's not where they go, and they are an extreme danger to motorcyclists. I was contacted today by one of my residents and the tree cutter guy. And anyway, so after all the conversation and debate discussion we had previously, some months ago, a couple of months ago, about trees, I was informed that if you are cutting down a tree and you have to replace it, but if you replace it with a tree that is less than the same diameter, then you have to pay. Like if you got a 20-inch tree, 20 inches around, you cut it down and you put it in with a new tree, which is 2 inches around maybe. There's a difference of 18 inches, and then you have to pay the city $125 per inch, so 18 inches. And I don't recall anything like that being in the revised ordinance that we discussed and passed. So I'd like to have, we don't have to talk about it now. I don't need an answer now, but I would like an answer and an explanation on that this week, if we can, okay? Is that cool? Is that all right?
Set it up with the director and meet with them.
All right. All right. Then I've also received numerous complaints about the water bill. People were saying, and I'm guessing I got 17 or more calls, that we raised the water rate effective May 1st. When they got the April bill and to pay like May 2nd, and they were charged the new rate on the April bill, and there were a number of other discrepancies, extra line items and so forth. So
I'm sure Sherry from Finance, would you come up and explain that? Because we've had that discussion. Is she still here?
no. Okay, thanks.
Because that's not a true statement, so.
No, can I just follow up with the alderman outside of the council?
Be fine, thanks. Okay, we had two incidents here in Waukegan over the weekend. We had another shooting, 300 block of Martin Luther King. That's like 2 blocks from here. No mention of that, no information, nothing. And we also had a very large police action on Grand at the strip mall over there, like Grand and Berwick. And again, information is being kept from the community about these types of incidents, about criminal activities and goings-on. We used to get the significant incident reports. Mayor stopped those. I've asked repeatedly now in writing and verbally for the call run log, where all I'm asking for is where did the police go last night? How many calls did they run? Where did they go? So noise disturbance at 1320 North Jackson Street. And the reason I want this, I think we need to be, I know that we need to be transparent and informative in the information that is useful to our citizenry, so that in the event there may be some pattern of car break-ins or home invasions or whatever the case may be, that the citizens should be aware of it. Now, particularly with these shootings. So what I want to encourage you, we obviously can't stop this criminal behavior and violent behavior. That's a part of the human condition. But what we can do ourselves is be more situationally aware, pay attention to what's going on around you. And if you hear gunshots, hit the ground, try to get to cover. Cover is some barrier that will protect you from gunfire. But if you can do nothing else, get on the ground and, of course, report shots fired. The parking, alternative parking, I'm glad Alderman Guzman mentioned that. I would be supportive of revisiting that, repealing it, making it from midnight to 6 or so. I think we should have a discussion. I look forward to that. The noise ordinance, and I had 2 calls Saturday night and early Sunday morning, and one was on the 600 block of Hickory and the other was the 700 block of Keith. And those people they had horns and drums and cymbals and loud. It was phenomenal. And the police could not respond. They were busy. I talked to dispatch and they said, hey, guys just can't get there. And then Sunday morning, I went to the one over on Keith. They were still at it like 7:30 in the morning. They've been all night. So what I would suggest, and I know that we amended our noise ordinance. What I would like to suggest is that there be zero tolerance and zero warning for loud music after 11 p.m. Not even going to talk about it. You got a citation, because we've got to do something. These people, and a lot of them are elderly, and multiple people are being disturbed, and it's got to be a change. So I'd like to make note of that. It's been mentioned more than once to limit audience time, or alderman's time and audience time, and I don't think we should limit audience time. I think everyone should be allowed to speak. If there's 100 people to come in here, then we just sit and wait. It ain't going to happen that often. Everybody is entitled. We have a right to address the government for redress of grievances, and if you got 200 people, then it's our duty, it's prevailing upon us to sit here and listen. Finally, last but not least, Memorial Day is coming, and I think it's been now the 15 years that I've been doing the 6th Ward Rewards program. Last year, we morphed that into a citywide rewards program, Alderman Donnerworth and I. It was $2,000 between us. This year, I am proud to announce that the continuation of our multi-ward rewards program, specifically targeting information or seeking information related to the illegal possession of firearms. So if you have information that leads to the arrest and conviction of someone who is in possession of an illegal firearm or illegally in possession of a firearm, Alderman Guzman, Alderman Martinez, Alderman Felix, Alderman Donnerworth, and myself each are offering $1,000 reward. And are we going to do 5 $1,000 rewards, so 5 different people, or are we going to do one reward for 5,000? What do you guys want to do? Different people. Okay, so we got 5 rewards, 5 $1,000 rewards, dependent on that information leading to a conviction, and depending on which ward it's in, of one of these 5 wards, that'll be the alderman that pays it. Otherwise, we'll flip a coin or something. But that's what's on the table. So please contact us, and your information will remain anonymous, and we'll make the reports and help work with the police to get those guns off the street. That's what I have. Thank you all very much for your attention, and good night.
Alderman Donnerworth.
Thank you. Yeah, I want to also indicate that I spoke with the same tree cutter also, and we'll speak with the city in reference to the charges for that, and we can work with them on that. Alderman Turner and I also had a pizza party at Quonset Pizza last Wednesday, and we invited all the graduates to the pizza party from 5 to 8, and we had 24, 26, 28, and then, the couple families came, 3, 4 families, and it was well attended, and everybody was happy, and everybody was glad they graduated, so we congratulated everybody. And they're looking forward to going to college, and all kinds of stuff. Some people have other plans too, but they were so happy that they graduated from Waukegan High School, and they got their diploma, and we were happy for them. And also, I want to thank the city staff. Every time I call, everything is always taken care of. They get it taken care of for me. And again, I want to thank them again from the top to the bottom. Everybody out there who's working, I try to drive around all day and see them when they're working and thank them and see what else is going on. And then just basically, I mean, if you see something that needs to be reported to the police, please report it to the police. And like Alderman Turner said, if it's shots fired, yeah, get out of the way. Make sure you can't get shot or anything. And then definitely call the police department. And then, the police department will respond and hopefully get it taken care of. But we definitely need to look out for us. And you need to look out for yourselves. Going home at night, look around and see something that you don't recognize or something that might be hinky. Get in your house, lock your door, and then call the police. Basically, that's it. Thank you.
Alderman Florian?
Thank you, Madam Clerk. So I want to reiterate what the mayor said about the animal control facility. It's amazing. Everyone that was involved in that deserves kudos. Chief Bridges, Chris Garland, Jesus, everyone who brought that to fruition. I had to call about an animal this week. Police department as well. Sorry. I didn't mean to leave you guys out. I had to call about an animal this week, and Susan was just over the top talking about how much she loves the new facility. So I think it's something we all should be very proud of. We did it without borrowing any money. We did it without increasing any taxes. It's paid for. It's amazing how beautiful it is. So I just want to reiterate that. Also, I want to thank Sam, Mr. Green from the Planning and Zoning for the recognition of historically significant properties. All of them are great, especially near and dear to me, of course, is the Quonset. My husband worked for the Moretti family for 26 years, and I couldn't be prouder to hear them talk about the significance of that, business in our community, and the fact that my husband dedicated, almost half his life to working there. So tonight we had the news here again. This was a terrible incident that happened. A family is hurting. I can't even imagine how badly they're hurting. I believe it's incumbent on us to hold ourselves to a higher standard of conduct. I believe in transparency, don't get me wrong, but I also believe people have a right to privacy and a right to grieve in a way that they see fit. And I don't think anyone should infringe on that right to have the ability to hold something so personal and keep it personal. I want to distance myself from what happened because I had nothing to do with that. I want nothing to do with what was done. So my deepest condolences go to the friends and family of Miss Robinson, and I'm just truly sorry that we added in any way or anyone in our community added to their grief in any way. And lastly, I want to reiterate again, I think 3 minutes for each of us should be just enough as it is for our community. Thank you.
Alderman Hayes.
Thank you. I'd like to say thank you to the aldermen or alderpersons that voted in favor of repaving Huntington Lakes. That it went very smoothly. So thank you to Public Works and everybody who was involved in that project. It's greatly appreciated. Everyone in the neighborhood says thank you. There is a new crosswalk and sidewalks being installed, so there's construction at the corner of Belvedere and Oak Plain Road. It's coming along, but it does create a little bit of a headache for those driving, especially during rush hour. Everybody just be careful. There's construction workers on either side, but in the end, it will be a significantly safer crosswalk. I still think that we need a light or some type of safety signal at River Road and 120, but this is a really good start getting it done at Oak Plain and Belvedere. The Ramada Inn, there was an article, I think last week, called it a scar on Waukegan's landscape, among other things. It's spot on. That's exactly what it is. I'd like to thank the city and everybody for all of your efforts to do everything we can to hold the owner accountable. I know all too well, but you can imagine what goes into requiring somebody to demolish a building or getting a court order that allows the city to demolish a building. But the city is doing everything it can. It is a hotbed for crime. It is a dangerous scenario for our fire department and our police department. So I just want everyone to know, because I get a lot of calls about it, that we are doing everything we can to hold the owner accountable and also hopefully get rid of the building. Lastly, the demolition at St. Therese, it's been commented on by the mayor. Thank you, Mayor, for your comments. I spoke to the Illinois EPA, who directed me to the Attorney General's office based on the fact that there's now an open, well, I think charges have actually been brought against numerous contractors. So though it may not be the city doing it, as I've said before, we are leaving it to the experts at the Illinois Environmental Protection Agency and now the Attorney General's office to hold those individuals and those contractors accountable. So I know many people think things are not getting done. As we've said many times, there is a process, and it is. There are significant efforts being made to work through that process as expeditiously as possible. So if you have any questions about any of those things, please reach out. Otherwise, thank you.
Okay, that concludes Alderman time. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Alderman Newsome, second.
Second, Donworth.
Alderman Donenworth. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed?
Aye.
Oh, well, I don't want to go. I'll stay here all night.